now you want control? How you gonna turn around and be like, oh, an assault style, a high-powered assault style with a long barrel was near the vicinity of our president, our big, beautiful president, Donald Trump. Excuse me, we need to do something about this. How is this happening? Damn, Hannity, I thought we were on board. I thought we were up, dog. I thought you were a real one. That one. We're definitely doing that because he just openly admits that he just lies for fun. He lies for attention, which is crazy. He's just like, yeah, I lie for attention. Don't forget, Laura Loomer is younger than Hasan. Laura Loomer is younger than me. Many people are asking. Many people are thinking about not voting for Trump anymore because of the inappropriate age gap between Laura Loomer, Baby Gronk, and Donald Trump are in an inappropriate age gap relationship. But to all the critics that have said Laura Loomer is rizzing up Donnie J has said Laura is a fiery woman, and also that Laura kind of looks a lot older than she actually is. I get why you have haters now. I don't know why. This is what too much TikTok does to people. That guy always looks so sad. Like I think I'm nailing the cadence, but like every time he talks about it, literally feels like he is being punished by God for that he committed in a past life. I don't know. His face is so sad all the time where he's like, what have I become? Like I spend the finite amount of time I have on this planet covering Baby Gronk. Like that's what's going on in the back of his dome when he's talking about that. Do more brain rot news coverage. It might actually work. Who are you talking about? The pain in your eyes isn't quite there. All right, let's see what the CNN is saying.
The alleged, but that's not what we have right now. And again, as Chief Ramsey pointed out, and Chief Ramsey's been around a long time and he's lived this experience, the first story is never right. But we believe that the information we're getting from our sources, which is the flash reporting coming from law enforcement on the scene, is going to be a pretty close composite to how this unfolded. That will have to be processed for DNA, for fingerprints. So what the practice that I've always used at the scene, that my colleagues always used at the scene, is if they fell with the serial number facing up, you know, to take a picture of it, and then not to handle that at all, because you don't want to add any biological material or disturb it before the lab people get to it. You want to give it to them as pristinely as possible.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. I want to bring in senior justice correspondent Evan Perez, who's with us now. You have more information on someone detained?
That's right, Fred. The authorities there, Secret Service, on the scene, were able to detain a person. Now, you know, obviously, as John just you know, making reference, you know, a lot of this is very early information from law enforcement. A lot of times it's you know, it's just the heat of the moment, and they're trying to report what they have at the scene. But at this point, what they're saying is that they've detained a person. Now, they believe this is a person who was connected to this scene, and you know the reason why they were shot.
Bro, I don't get it. Like Americans love their. It seems like everyone's got a. Okay, it seems like every goddamn American has a, and they're just so ass at shooting. Okay. How is that possible? We got our cleaned out by Koreans, an old 52-year-old Turkish man. Like, they don't even have in their country, and they were much better shots than us, okay, at the Olympics. And it's like, we don't even have, there's zero good at the Olympics, zero good in terms of political assassin attempts. Like, look at Japan, dog. Those motherfuckers don't even have. Look at Japan. They don't even have. And that guy pulled one off. It's kind of crazy. Like, this is not a political statement about like Donald Trump or anything like that. Okay. It's just kind of shocking how bad Americans are at shooting. Because like at the end of the day, like the goal of shooting is supposed to be like hitting a target. And it's wild that like just bad. Americans are just bad at shooting, it seems, objectively. Like, marksmanship is barely considered in the military. Yeah, like, what the... I think we got far too invested in our, like, military superiority, okay? Like, back in the day, during World War II, you had, like, female Red Army snipers. You know what I mean? Like stories were told about like, you know, Russian snipers that just like sat in a clock tower and just like popped off and like and stayed in a position and like stopped the forces from advancing for weeks on end. You know what I mean? And like, I feel like with America nowadays, for us, basically, we just, you know, we get shot at. We're in Afghanistan. We're like holding a, I don't know, hash field or something. We get shot at. One of the dudes gets like their shot off. And then immediately they call in air support and they just spray an entire, they spray the entire countryside and then they off with it. Like there's no art to it. You know what I mean? There is no art to it at all. Like we've gotten too invested in the fact that we have like air superiority over all of our enemies who are in sandals for the most part, using the we gave them like 20, 30, 40 years ago, that like we're just not, we don't even care. We don't even care about shooting good. Active duty Navy here, ARC quals, they have a minimum, but if you don't get that, they mark your score so you do pass and qualify you in the regardless, even if you're good at shooting or not. Didn't Turkey win bronze in shooting Olympics? Yeah, gold. I mean, not gold, sorry, silver, I think. But the guy just straight up walked up there, no gear whatsoever. He's like a 52-year-old man and just popped one and moved away. And it is crazy to me that, like, it is crazy. We're laziest, dude. There's no art in it. Like, there's no art in, like, actually hitting your target. Like, nobody cares about this. Nobody cares about it unless it's a school. That's it.
Who's being investigated to determine whether he was the person involved in this. The tracing of the might become less critical if that suspect turns out to be a good suspect in this case. If that suspect turns out to be not the person involved, then the tracing of course, and all of this will happen simultaneously, becomes more critical.
Steve Moore, what about what we would see seemingly simple, you know, cross-referencing of fingerprints? I know we talked about not compromising, but if you have someone detained, you have a vehicle and possible fingerprints on this AK-47, might those be lifted right away with a cross-referencing or a comparison?
Well, the problem with fingerprinting right away is if you do it quickly in order just to get fingerprints, you're possibly destroying DNA evidence and other evidence that would be crucial.
Where can you buy an AK? Dog, this is the United States of America. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Anywhere, I think. A store, a show, online. Bro, you can win one probably at the country fair, I suspect, depending on like which state you're in. You could probably win it at the county fair. They literally, it's like on accident, you know? Once I was walking down the street and they were like, hey, you want a Glock? And I was like, sure, why not, you know? They beat your ass if you don't have a in this country. You walk into the CVS and they're like, here's a free, you know? That's just how it works. Have you blasted off yet? Yeah, I did. Talk to a dog. They were floating the idea of vending machines for ammunition, okay? They were, and it was like they set it up. They set up like a video game, vending machines for ammo. What the are we talking about? Anyway, Turkish silver carried by the girl, the guy didn't pop off.
Right now, a lot of information, but the fact that it's been this long now, they said 3:15, now it's about 3:40. Tells me there's more again to this story than just
bro
random shots being fired outside the
look at this, look not your everyday promo. Laura's company offering free with purchase of air conditioning unit. Buy an HVAC system, get it free. That's real, but it's not just that. If you remember, Daniel Defense, if you want to know how insane this country is, after one of the school shootings, and it was I think it was Parkland, if I'm not mistaken, Daniel Defense literally had a giveaway at the NRA convention for the exact, it was Uvalde. In Texas, the NRA convention was in Texas after Uvalde. No, it was Uvalde. It was Uvalde. Okay? The NRA convention was held in Texas immediately after Uvalde. Okay? Daniel Defense, which is a manufacturer, actually had the exact that they used, okay, the exact that they used, and they were doing a giveaway of the exact that they used in Uvalde like a week after the Uvalde shooting with, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 1,000 rounds of ammo. They literally had a giveaway. It was like one of those like sweepstakes. Same thing happened in Colorado after Columbine. NRA convention held, I think, literally a week after Columbine. Yeah. An NRA charity planned to raffle an AR-15 at a Texas event. Then Uvalde families protested and the group lost its sight. The ammo vending machine is real. No, I know, man. What are you talking about? I know the ammo vending machine is real. Company debuts vending machines selling ammunition in 3 southern states. Yes. So it's not even a joke. NRA gives away using the Uvalde shooting back rights. Yeah. Banned giveaway. NRA is giving away 12 world-class. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi want a ban. The one of the things they were giving away was the exact same because they used the Daniel defense rifle on that one. It's not a joke. Like, I understand, okay? America is very similar to Israel in that regard where, like, sometimes I say something about Israel and you go, that's got to be anti-Semitic. You're probably making this up. It's got to be blood libel. And then you look it up and you're like, oh my God. Oh my God, it's real, right? America is the exact same where it's like, haha, okay, cartoonish, maybe laying it on a little too thick. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay, Americans love their, like, well, what's next? You're going to tell me that they marry their in church? And then you find out there's literally a church in Pennsylvania where people do get married with their, and you're like, what the is going on in this country? We are spiritually broken. What is this? Remember this classic moment from the beginning of this year? There's probably at least one instance where a dog accidentally misfired on their owner. There are everywhere in this country, okay? There are basically flowing out of water fountains. It's less likely, it's harder to go to a place in the United States of America where there are no than a place where there are. In the United States of America, we have sexual intercourse with in the United States of America, we actually unironically marry that's true. There you go. Told you. Man shot dead after dog steps on hunting rifle's trigger. Called it. Man shot dead. German Shepherd was in the back of a car. The victim was in the front seat. January 26, 2023. That was last year. What the dog doing? His owner. So yeah. What is this? I've been briefed on reports of shot fired near former President Trump and his property in Florida, and I'm glad he's safe. There's no place in America. Dude, it's so funny. It's so funny that like all of the like anti-woke accounts get so libbed up when it's big President Donald Trump, Big Daddy, who's in the crosshairs. They're like, you did this. Words are end wokeness. You called him a threat to democracy and a day one dictator. You own this. It's like, dude, no one believes you. Okay? You can cry all day, every day. We know what your account looks like, man. You can't just be like, words are sweetie. You like, if words are like, you're trying to Haitians right now. Like, that's your goal. Last week, you were trying to trans people. This week, you're trying to Haitians. And by the way, you are actively doing that. Okay? You can't personally be like, words are, after just like doing a week-long insane, like, moral panic about Haitians eating cats. And Donald Trump directly calls out, makes direct calls for on a regular basis. Like, what is Kamala Harris saying that is like calling against Donald Trump? That like she wants to do his border proposal? That's wow. That's really, dude, I can't believe it. Democrats are too to actually do anything about the Republican Party, let alone use strong language when discussing the Republican Party. Okay, nobody believes this has no place in America is so funny. We are the most nation, dude. Most men in Afghanistan literally their rifles too. We gonna go after them? What? Please look at this person's takes. Lovers are evolving to blame hospitals. Wait, what? You don't just get a firearm without background checks. Every firearm transfer requires background checks. You don't actually get a firearm regardless of how you want to try to put it. This literally, you're wrong about that. Like, objectively, you're wrong. Well, I don't know why you're saying that. It's just not correct. It's completely, what you just said is just completely incorrect. What? You still need to go through a background check. You don't just get firearm. People use your heads. Your problem is with hospitals, not the laws. The laws state people who aren't mentally competent to have firearms cannot own firearms. The hospital up here by ruining the integrity of the background check. I'd love to blame this on the government and the laws, but the laws are in place. I guess you have no issue with closing the loopholes and advocating for universal background checks which is a policy that is like has 90% approval rating. I suspect that you're on board with that, including red flag laws applied at the federal level. Huh? No, Donnie gave me the bad news. The Trump breaking news pushed the misinfo nation back. I knew it. I knew this was going to happen. I literally said, I hope it doesn't push that back. Damn it. I went live for that too. That's crazy. I could have taken the goddamn day off. I guess I got to finish Wukong now. No, you do need a background check for illegal transfer. A personal transfer doesn't require a background check, but acquiring one from an FLL does. Conspiracy to push your segment back? Yeah, I know. Can we still watch the Talk to a podcast? Probably not. It premieres in 6 hours because CNN is just going to farm the Trump shooting all day.
Here at the White House, both Vice President Kamala Harris and current President Biden are here in Washington, D.C. They are not on the campaign trail. They have no events on their public schedule. We received a statement from a White House official early on in this incident, just in the last hour, expressing similar, that they both had been briefed and they both are relieved that he is safe. Notably, that statement did not express what Vice President Harris did in hers. She added at the end, has no place in America. So certainly signifies, as we learn more about this incident, potentially what happened, potentially what the motive is, notable that the Vice President here reiterating that should not be in politics in America at this time. Fred?
All right, silence.
It's so funny when politicians are like, I can't believe this, like should have no place in America. Is such a funny take because like it's literally everywhere. The only place where it doesn't happen is like at the tippy top. So I guess like maybe it's personalizing that like everyday Americans experience on a regular goddamn basis. So for the first time, it's like actually politicians that are experiencing it. That's the only difference here. I love when politicians say like there's no place in politics. It's like, what do you mean? It happens everywhere all the time. There's like a mass shooting every day in the United States of America. You're basically just saying you guys are fine if you kill each other, but if you try to shoot at us, then all of a sudden, whoa, what's going on? Everybody calm down. It's like, no, that's the most American, dude. Okay? It's the most American, you know? Maybe they're democratizing that for once. Like, hey, do something about it, okay? Here's a good idea. If you're fearful, do something about it. Maybe they'll be asked to actually do something about it now that it's like actually happening to them too. You know, all of a sudden they're not a school child going to school or a teacher or a random person at the grocery store or a mall. So now they're like, whoa. This is not supposed to happen to us. That's all that is. For me, that's all. When I hear that, when I hear a Democrat or a Republican, when I hear a politician say there's no place in politics, like they have to say that, obviously, but also for me, I think they're simply saying like, it's not supposed to happen to us. You peasants, you can kill each other all day. We won't do a goddamn thing about it. Okay. Now I'm not going to shine on the Democrats too much because like this is one issue where they are on the correct side, like objectively, you know. They are objectively on the right side on this issue. It's like Republicans especially that are so completely on the wrong side of this issue that it's just like it's one of those culture war issues where like the Democrats have firmly held their ground on their position and their commitment. But, you know.
Start pointing to others that may be involved. Again, the Secret Service, local law enforcement, and the FBI, who will now be taking over the lead role in the investigation of, again, another attempted potentially of the former president. What are all of those entities doing? What is their role and responsibility? Again, if you think about, what the reporting has been to date, we also understand that Secret Service agents returned fire, and potentially pursued the suspect. Again, so now we have another complexity, which is an agent-involved shooting. That's another investigation by the local prosecutors in the U.S. Attorney's Office that will also open up. So again, very complicated landscape, not too different than the early hours around the assassination.
Someone just said Trump should drop out for his own safety.
So the expectations coming out of this
True,
is
we
that
care
there
about
is a
him.
plan to investigate this shooting, reinsure the public that they are
We want to
safe,
make sure he's
and
safe.
be transparent about what does the future hold in terms of the investigation.
All right, I want to thank everybody. John Miller, Charles Ramsey, Steve Moore, Jonathan Wackrow. Appreciate all of you. We're going to continue to follow this breaking news. Former President Trump's campaign saying he is safe after...
Bro, this is literally like when God gave Biden COVID, okay? Yo, God was like, dude, drop out. Now it's like God is telling you something, Trump. You should probably listen, okay? God's like, come on, dog. Get out of this race. It's over. It's done. It's a sign, dude. I said lightning never strikes twice. I was wrong, okay? I'll cop to it. I'll own up. I'll own up to my faults. Okay, as we await a briefing from officials, here's what CNN knows so far. A person has been detained connected to the incident at Trump International Golf Club, according to a law enforcement source. Secret Service fired at the suspect, according to multiple sources, and a long has been recovered. Officials believe an armed individual intended to target Trump, per John Miller, CNN, and Evan Perez. Laura Loomer, I am driving to West Palm Beach, Florida to cover the attempted of President Trump. I'll be posting updates from the scene once I get there. Protect President Trump at all costs. Now, I'm no big city lawyer, but Donald Trump did say he hates Taylor Swift far too close to this attempted, as far as we know. Okay, look, I'm no big city lawyer, but don't put the Swifties, dog. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, I don't know where fucking Cutie is. No, I'm just kidding. You know, they were white because they haven't called them terrorists or immigrants yet. I mean, I hope. As always, okay, as always, we are praying. We are praying that it's yet another registered Republican white guy, okay? The whitest man you've ever seen. Because God forbid it's anything else. If it's anything else, we're so cooked, okay? Seems if there's anyone but a white man, oh my God, oh my Lord. It is kind of funny that how unserious I'm taking this, like, it is kind of funny how unserious I'm taking this story that is like supposed to be objectively a serious story because of how unserious of a nation we have become. Like, it's over. It's already normalized. You know what I mean? It's already a thing that happened once and nothing changed. And I think that that's it. Like, that's where we're at.
Anyway, so long story
Here's Sean Hannity. Hannity says the Secret Service used a drone camera to ID a suspect. Sean Hannity was called in.
Anyway, so long story short is President Trump, they were on the fifth hole. They were about to go up to putt.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hannity's got direct updates. He's so distraught. Look at him. He's like, my boyfriend was shot at. It's up. Here, let's hear what he has
Moving
to say.
forward, whatever shocked Senator Blumenthal into saying that the public will be shocked and appalled at what we learned about Butler, it really, I shudder to think on top of that, what happened today, because a rifle, high-powered rifle, got within short range of President Trump.
Oh my God, they're talking about it like liberals. Oh my God. He said he's like a long-barreled assault style.
To get
they
a
must be
description
banned.
of the vehicle, the individual, because of drone footage, credit for that. But why did he have any access to that distance with that rifle around a president? That has to be asked. That has to be answered.
Sean, those are excellent questions that we do
gun-free
need to have answered. This is our continuing coverage of today's breaking news. Everyone, hello. I'm Arthel Neville alongside Eric Shaw.
Damn, now you want control? How are you going to turn around and be like, oh, an assault style, a high-powered assault style with a long barrel was near the vicinity of our president, our big, beautiful President Donald Trump. Excuse me, we need to do something about this. How is this happening? Damn, Hannity, I thought we were on board. I thought we were up, dog. I thought you were a real one. The answer is more good guys with, dude. More good guys with. What do you mean? What do you mean? Why are you calling out the type of that the assailant was using, bro? What are you, a libtard? Shut the fuck up, Hannity.
and the way Steve Witkoff. Now, just as a little bit of background, Arthel, I happened to go to breakfast with another friend of mine this morning, and I was invited to play golf. They happen to be really good golfers. I don't have a lot of time to play golf, so I said thank you, but I'm not going to go out on the golf course and get out there. But long story short, so they were playing, they were on the 5th hole. And the way Steve described this, the way the president described it, they both had exactly the same story, which was that they heard pop, 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 pop. And Steve went into great specificity and great detail as to what happened right after. Within seconds, the Secret Service pounced on the president, covered him. You had snipers with tripods. They knew the direction where this had been fired, and they had eyes on the location where this had been fired. And long story short, they were. I have confirmed with both the president and with Mr. Witkoff that it has been found. They identified it as an AK-47, and thanks to Secret Service drone video coverage, they were able to identify one individual involved in this shooting getting into a car after dropping the AK-47. And my understanding, according to both of them, is that that car has been identified, and I believe it's been surrounded. Whether or not that person has been apprehended or not, I don't know. This happened in a matter of seconds. A little more color, a little bit more details on this is that when they got on top of the president, immediately what is called a fast cart that I believe has steel reinforcement and protection was able to whisk the president away, and then the Secret Service immediately sprung into action.
They pounced on him. But where was Laura Loomer? This is what happens when you when you push aside the throat goat, okay?
They had eyes on where the shooting had occurred. I saw the New York Post report that these were two people shooting at each other outside the course. I do know, and they did confirm that they were outside of the course, but certainly seemingly within range of the former president. So we don't have any details on any of that. They don't know that part. I only know the part of what they experienced while they were playing golf at Trump International in West Palm. Thankfully, the president is safe. Steve Witkoff is safe. The Secret Service apparently acted with incredible speed and professionalism, and but certainly alarming in every way imaginable in light of what happened in Butler, as you mentioned.
Yeah, of course, this is very alarming. And Sean, have you spoken to the former president or texted with him?
I have spoken with the president 3 times since this incident, and each time I got a new piece of information. One, that they had found, first of all, what happened with the shooting. The second thing, that they had found an AK-47. Third, right, that their drone footage was able to give them enough surveillance to identify the exact car.
I'm not going to lie. Low key, this chatter that I kind of originally said had like a unique take, but I don't know if I fully agree with. I kind of with the vision chatter. So Destilot P originally was the one who suggested that most of the mass shootings, like school shootings, overwhelmingly occur at public schools, right? And he was like, if they were happening at the same frequency in private schools, like, I think rich people have a very different attitude about mass shootings in general and school shootings in general. And at the time I was like, I don't know about that. I feel like school shootings are like pretty commonplace, but this does democratize the likelihood of a shooting happening to people in positions of power. So like, you know, they do change their attitude pretty quickly, like pretty interestingly. I'm telling you, if there were not private schools for rich folks to send their kids to, and they had to share a school with the rest of us, would be banned. Like I see where you're going with this, because like Trump released a statement. Let's see what he had to say. Piers Morgan. There were in my vicinity, but before rumors start spiraling out of control, I wanted you to hear this first. I am safe and well. Nothing will slow me down. I will never surrender. I will always love you for supporting me. Unity, peace, make America great again. May God bless you, Donald J. Trump. Are we pro school shooting now? Dude, you have to. Did you get in the head? Like, is there a bullet lodged in the back of your dome that you arrived at this conclusion? Please, chatter. Jesus Christ. One thing I do know is that copycats exist, right? Like once there was one guy that did it, other people will try to do it as well in order to either make a name for themselves or whatever. If they find this to be like a mechanism where they can get like fame, instead of going to schools or malls or whatever, they might like actually start opening fire on Donald Trump over and over again. At which case, we might actually get some control, which is crazy. You know, I guess that's the silver lining of the situation overall. Megaphonics, stop.
That the individual involved in this shooting got into, and further detail that they gave me was that they were updated and told that.
Yeah, confirmed by CNN, the shooter didn't actually shoot. Evan Perez said on CNN's live coverage, the reason why they were fired was from the Secret Service side is they believe this person was poised to fire, perhaps in the direction of the former president. They were trying to prevent this from happening. They also, ironically, missed because the shooter was, I believe, arrested. So either they they didn't even hurt him. So like, as it stands, for those of you who are just tuning in and you're wondering what's going on, at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. That's what's going on. Okay. So that's number one. At the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, you know, a good guy with it might not save you from a bad guy with it, but a good subscription at the top of the hour will absolutely save you from the 3-minute ad break. So that's number one. Okay. You can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. So that's number one. That's the first thing I was going to say. Second thing I was going to say is if you're just tuning in and you're subscribed, because the top of the hour ad break is happening currently. Okay. Donald Trump apparently, like this morning, as soon as I went live, I heard that there was fired in the vicinity of Donald Trump when he was at his golf course. Okay. A man was just at, you don't got to be savage with it. Yeah, I will definitely be savage with it. So here's what happened. Okay. We didn't know what the details were, but details are coming out now. Turns out that the guy had an AK style. They believe that he had an AK style. Secret Service saw it at him, missed. Then the guy got away. A male with a high-power rifle was seen near Mar-a-Lago golf course in Florida around 2 p.m. Two people familiar with the matter told CBS News. The man was pointing the rifle at the golf course where the former president was located at the time, and the U.S. Secret Service agents engaged in the suspect, firing multiple. They missed. Not only did they miss, but he got away, and then they made the arrest on I-95 in Martin County, Florida. Suspect at the incident at Trump's golf course was arrested on I-95. I believe they found him with drone footage or something. They were like scouring the area with drones. So the only that were fired in Trump's vicinity were actually fired from the Secret Service in the direction of the assailant. So that's what the latest is. Donald Trump is fine. The shooter didn't shoot at him. He didn't miss. He didn't get the opportunity to. We don't even know if he's like regular Florida man or was like actually a dude. Because like that's the one thing. That's the one thing in the United States of America that is so crazy. Like it could be a Florida man. You know what I mean? Because we don't know. Like, was he like actually aiming the AK-47 in the vicinity of the golf course? Is he just like a regular Florida guy hanging out? I don't know. Because it's Florida. It's Florida. So I don't know. I genuinely don't know. That's what's so goddamn crazy about the situation. Ghost of Fidel Castro rise again. AK is weird to bring to the woods. Dog, do you know? First of all, you're not wrong. Except you're so wrong because we're talking about Florida. Like, I get what you're saying on principle. I understand what you're saying. Except with the Florida exception, okay? Like, you're right. You're so right. Except the last school shooter, for example, was using them to hunt deer. You know what I mean? Like, the last school shooter that was apprehended, there's video footage of him taking down a deer, and he's literally hunting the deer with a... So it's like, you're not wrong on the fundamentals. AR is standard, though. No, AR is not standard for hunting either. What do you mean? And yeah, dude, you're blowing up a deer with a NATO round? Like, what the are you talking about? It's becoming standard, but it's not actually a good hunting rifle. What the? Yeah, chatter 10 years down the line is going to be like, well, this is actually a standard hunting rifle, or used to be the standard. Now it's an RPG. I don't think you understand, dude. I'm no hunter, but that feels like it takes the sport out of it. No, it absolutely does. And it also is not good for, like, you're automatically just not hunting the deer for meat. Okay, that's what that means. If you're shooting the deer with a, you're probably not interested in the meat. Okay, it's just you're doing it for sport at that point. Unless you're trying to make a hamburger. It's like, listen, brother, you don't understand. Okay, this is what I call a burger meat. Okay, you shoot it, it blows its guts up. All right, it blows its guts up, and then what ends up happening is perfect for ground meat. Okay, delicious lead flavored ground meat. Okay, yeah. They brought Wolf Blitzer back into the studio. The man can't have days off. Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at his face.
About it himself, he called Donald Trump and spoke.
He was probably having his mocktails again on Sunday, and he's like, "Oh God."
Happened. The attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, when Donald Trump was on stage at his rally, the security around him has been incredibly tight. I mean, they ramped it up, as you know.
You just scroll Twitter all day. Is that what it looks like I'm doing to you right now? No. I just watch TV all day. Okay? No, that's what I do.
Increased more so. You can see that reflected in his rallies when he's on stage now and they have the protective glass in front of him, or at the Republican convention when he spoke on stage. You saw 2 agents on each side of the stage, which isn't normally the case. They're not normally up there with him, but they've only really increased this. And of course, Wolf, I should note, this is all coming.
You think when Donald Trump heard this in his mind, he was thinking, I really hope it's an undocumented immigrant? Like, for a brief moment, you know what I mean? Like, because, like, the first thought probably is like, oh, it's happening again. Oh, my God, I'm pissing my pants. I'm in my diapers. But, like, the second thought's gotta be, for a brief moment, it's like, oh, I hope it's an undocumented immigrant. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, we're going to maul that type of, you know what I mean?
Of Palm Beach. That's where the Mar-a-Lago Beach Club is. That's where you've seen the events, the parties that he has, the meetings. And it is across a bridge that you just saw the motorcade come over about
His first thought was, Viktor Orban's going to be so sad. I can't die. Viktor Orban might get sad.
And there were times, you know, when Trump was golfing in his first term, Wolf, where reporters could see Trump out on the golf course. Oftentimes, CNN's photographers would be able to spot him with their cameras. That's how we would often find out that he was indeed on the golf course or who he was golfing with. So there is some visibility from the road. Of course, Wolf, we're still trying to learn a lot more about what it was that happened here, where Donald Trump was on that golf course, and what's happening with this investigation into who did this, Wolf.
And as you correctly point out, the golf club, the actual golf course, is not at Mar-a-Lago, which is his residence over there. It's at a different location in Palm Beach as we're watching it all of unfold. Do we know, Caitlin, if there's always a White House network pool of correspondents who are watching? Hold on one second. The sheriff of Palm Beach County is speaking right now. I want to listen in.
Put out a very urgent bolo asking all law enforcement to look for a specific vehicle with a tag number and an occupant description. We flooded I-95, got on the northbound lane at every exit between Palm Beach and the Palm Beach line and the St. Lucie County line. One of my road patrol units saw the vehicle, matched the tag.
The audio is not doing him any favors, bro. He sounds drunk as
we do here. We pinched in the car, got it safely stopped.
I'm not gonna lie, it is Florida. There is a likelihood that he was drunk on the job.
The county sheriff's office is at the scene. They've responded there. They'll take over the investigation. Our flatbed tow truck will tow the vehicle back to Palm Beach County, and I have a clear understanding from the investigators there that we actually do have a suspect that they were looking for in Palm Beach County.
Do we know that suspect?
This is Florida's most sober driver.
Release that.
I know that Trump posted on Truth Social that they had recovered an AK-47, I think, near where the shooting incident happened. Anything that you can confirm for us if it's related?
I don't know any more about the scene in Palm Beach County than what you and the media have determined. You know, I hear the same chatter. I think that will become more apparent in the next hour or so. It is my understanding from listening to the investigators, there was a very serious incident down there, and I'm sure they'll do some of these here in the near future.
Absolutely. We had heard about a separate accident that occurred at some point on the highway during this incident. Was there another accident involving pedestrians, or not pedestrians, but civilians?
Yeah, there was a serious accident just south of where we had to stop all traffic. We had to clear that vehicle using our bomb detection dog. We actually asked St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office. They came down here, Florida Highway Patrol, under the direction of Governor DeSantis, moved in, took over traffic. But unfortunately, before we could get everything stabilized, there was a very serious accident, and they're working it now.
Do you know the condition of those people involved?
I don't. I'm sorry.
We had also heard from a couple of bystanders that they saw a woman and a child whisked away by deputies. We weren't sure if that was related to this incident.
No, we whisked nobody away. There was a lone driver in the vehicle. That driver is now in custody and in the hands of the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
What was his demeanor, Sheriff, when you approached the car?
The suspect's demeanor I would describe as having a relatively calm, flat, affected, was not displaying a lot of emotion, never asked what is this about. Obviously, law enforcement with long rifles, blue lights, a lot going on, never questioned it.
Was he armed at the time, or he or she?
Okay.
He was not armed.
I have a hot take. Here it is, okay? I mean, this audio is so bad. I'm sorry. I'm going to pause it a little bit. It's like hard to listen to. Because Republicans, in the eyes of like the broader electorate, in the eyes of the American public, kind of own political ends so much that when this keeps happening to them, there's not a lot of sympathy, okay? There's not a lot of sympathy from a lot of people, especially because the counter to it is like, oh, you keep doing political sentiments. Like, so most people just go, what do you mean? Okay, thoughts and prayers, shut up, right? And I think that like, this is almost akin, like it almost brings brings attention to the problem in the country automatically. It's like Trump getting COVID in the midst of the election. Like when the election is dead close, it's like coming up in November and he gets COVID, and it's like a reminder to everyone that like they kind of did that, you know, and now he has it. And it's like another reminder that like this is an ongoing issue. It would basically be like if a undocumented migrant like tried to attack Kamala Harris or something. Not to say that like these are similar systemic problems, because there is no like systemic migrant crime occurring, but like in the way that Americans analyze the situation, they literally would like they without thinking too deeply into it would most likely look at it and be like, well, you deserve it, you did this, right? So it's kind of like that for the Republicans getting getting that like this, or having like an attempt at, I think that that's the reason why Americans don't have like a lot of sympathy, because it's such a constant thing. It's such a constant thing that is occurring in everyday Americans' lives that like we have become desensitized, and it is like kind of a thing that Republicans own, you know? So for that reason, it's just like whenever they try to develop a narrative around like Trump getting shot or Trump having like an attempt, like both politically sentiment and also just like in general are two things that like I think most Americans intrinsically understand as the problem that the Republican Party has caused. So they can't really message their way out of it, you know? Like it doesn't really matter.
And that vehicle that you saw that is apparently related to this is now in the hands of the FBI. He says that they will help with transporting it for the FBI back to Palm Beach County. It's unclear, obviously, what else is going to happen, but he did say a male driver is in the custody and in the hands of the FBI at this time, Wolf. So that's an incredibly notable confirmation there from the sheriff about where they are in this investigation. Obviously, there's still a lot of questions about, you know, the license plate on that car. Who was that car registered to? What are the details of that? And also where it was in relation to the golf course. When you look at this and where Trump was, I will say, Wolf, the golf course is obviously an incredibly difficult area for the Secret Service to be able to secure. It's an open area. It's shrouded with trees. It's not often easy to get a glimpse of Donald Trump when he's on that golf course. Does that mean he can't golf anymore? Oh my God, does that mean Donald Trump can't golf anymore because he might actually drop out, bro. I'm not even joking. He might literally drop out because of this. Like, if he can't golf no more safely, he's dropping out. That would piss him off so much. That would ruin his life. Just got there of what exactly they do know about what happened here. You can see, Wolf, that the area is closed off in that area. He was telling people not to get on I-95 as we're waiting to get a more fulsome update, hopefully, Wolf, from officials.
Yeah, we expect that briefing, and you can see live pictures coming in right now, to come from the Secret Service, the FBI, and local law enforcement. Jonathan Wackrow, you know a lot about the Secret Service. Give us your sense. How much more information do you think we will get during this upcoming briefing?
Well, listen, I hope that we'll receive a lot more. But, Wolf, when you think about the elements of this attack, right, unlike Butler, where the shooter really was in plain sight for an awful long time, the shooter in this incident, had cover and concealment, or at least some level of cover and concealment along that along the wood line. Because of that, you can really start to believe that the attacker actually had some level of a line of sight to where the former president was. Now, were they in the actual range to launch an attack, or were they discovered by some of these counter surveillance or other agents that really constitute the enhanced security measures around the former president? But the key factor here is the accessibility that this attacker had to this secure site. Really, the ease of ingress and egress, and really the thought that there was some level of an escape route. All of this, to me, starts to signal a more elevated attack than something that was just spontaneous, right? You start thinking about the weapon that was utilized, the backpack, the GoPro, the ease.
I mean, it's not like it could be a dude trying to make a name for himself. It could be a dude who's like, I don't know. At this point, I really don't know. It probably kind of eliminates the possibility of it being Iranian. You know what I mean? Because like that is according to federal law enforcement, they keep saying that there is like attempted hits by Iranians.
To Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, obviously a close ally of his. Someone Sarfati is at the White House tracking that down, where I should note, of course, Vice President Harris has been briefed on this issue. She posted an update on this incident, what happened there. Sutherland, what are we hearing from Senator Graham about his conversation with Donald Trump?
Yeah, Senator Lindsey Graham, one of his top allies and friends on Capitol Hill. And Senator Graham said he just spoke with President Trump just moments ago. He says that Trump is in good spirits following today's incident. He adds that Trump is more resolved than ever to save our country. And Graham also noted that he believes he is one of the strongest people he's ever known. So notable that Trump now is working the phones, reaching out to some of his allies and friends, as no doubt they likely will be checking in on him after this incident. Earlier today, we did learn that Vice President Harris and President Biden were both briefed on this incident. Both of them are in D.C. this weekend. They have no public events on their schedule, and they expressed relief that he is safe, relief that he is, and saying glad that he is safe after this incident. We all are also, Caitlin, hearing from other members of Congress, asking questions about this incident, most notably recently from Congressman Mike Waltz from Florida. He says that he wants to be briefed by the U.S. Secret Service over this incident this week, and noted, again, hearkening back to Butler, Pennsylvania, that incident in July, the attempted or President Trump.
Bro, if it's yet another like former Republican or like registered Republican now pissed off at Donald Trump for one reason or another, I'm gonna lose my mind.
As domestic and foreign threats are ongoing. So notable there, at least one member of Congress,
if it's another situation like that, I'm gonna lose my mind.
U.S. Secret Service next week. Caitlin.
Yeah, and I expect we'll probably hear a lot more of those calls from officials as they're still investigating the first attempt, is trying to figure out what happened here in this moment. Someone Sarfati, thank you for that report. And Wolf, I'll just note, we were hearing from Sheriff Will Snyder in Martin County. For people who are looking at the map or not sure where that is or wondering why it's the sheriff, Martin County is right north of Palm Beach, right north of West Palm Beach, which is where, of course, Donald Trump's course was. And he was talking about where they apprehended that vehicle and the person that they now have in the custody of the FBI. He was describing this person as having a calm demeanor when they apprehended him. Obviously, still a lot of questions for this person. I imagine that's what officials are doing right now, Wolf, but that is where Martin County is. It is just north of West Palm Beach. If that gives us any indication of the direction this person was going in or what their intentions were there, Wolf.
Yeah, that's significant information indeed. Caitlin, John Miller, our law enforcement analyst, is standing by as well. He's working his sources. You're getting more information. What else are you learning, John?
Well, as we said in the beginning of this reporting, this information is preliminary. It was expected to shift and change. What we've developed is a little bit of a richer picture. Law enforcement originally said were fired. They believed at President Trump that Secret Service returned fire. As they're interviewing the agents involved and getting this richer picture, it appears now that as President Trump was golfing at whichever holes he was golfing at, the Secret Service team that was with him is advancing forward of that location so they can clear those areas and double check them. And at some point see this individual with a rifle pointing out from behind a tree line or a wooded area, that they go confront this individual, and that the shooter with the AK-47 or this semi-automatic rifle does not fire, but is confronted by the Secret Service, who fires at him. He drops the weapon and flees. Witnesses see him get into that car. And the Sheriff Snyder told us, and that's the Martin County Sheriff, not the Palm Beach County Sheriff, that be on the lookout for that vehicle went out. They flooded the highway. If you could go, if you can still bring it up to the picture of that car stopped at that site, what you see there is a classic vehicle containment technique, or a VCT, where one car gets in front of him, backs into him, the other car gets behind him, and the third car blocks him in. And they come out with those long rifles pointed at him and start to give him commands, which he complied with. And of course, then the search of that car. The FBI will be taking over the investigation into the shooter and into this individual's background, and into what he was doing allegedly in that area with that rifle as the former president was playing golf just a short distance away. And that is probably some of the details that we hope to get more on at this upcoming briefing from local and federal authorities.
I'm sure we'll get a lot more information. And John Miller, what does it say to you that they found near the scene of all of this at this golf course an AK-47 style rifle?
So that speaks to, and we've heard reporting. The problem is when people who aren't familiar with guns, eyewitnesses and others describe it. It goes from AR-15 style to AK-47, but we've been told AK-47, which is a foreign-made rifle. The AR-15 is the all-American gun that, Americans knew from what our soldiers carried in, the last 3 wars. The AK-47 is a Russian-made gun. There are many Chinese-made copies.
The AK-47, if it's correct, makes this actually more likely that it's probably a gun tuber gun guy, for the record, or maybe even, God forbid, a leftist who's like really into guns. But like, if it actually is an AK-47, like, think about who has AK-47s, right? And it's probably not an AK-47, but like, who has AKs in general? Gun enthusiasts, okay? We don't know anything yet. We don't even know if it is a dude who's like, Florida State Rep John Snyder. His father is the sheriff in Martin County where the suspect was arrested. Trump's golf course suspect is a white male in his mid-60s. Oh my God. Oh my God. White male in his 60s. Oh my God. Bro, let me tell you something, okay? We don't know yet. We don't know yet. It's not confirmed. It's not confirmed. It's not confirmed. The AK style weapon is not confirmed. The shooter is not confirmed. We don't know yet. Okay. Wait for confirmation. But oh my God, I will lose my mind. I will lose my mind. Okay. In order of funniest to scariest. Okay. Number 1, it's just a random kick streamer style gun guy who just wanted to shoot content and didn't realize that it was like, near the golf course or something. Okay, that would be the funniest outcome. Number two, second funniest or actually no, number one funniest outcome is registered former Trump supporter who is now mad. Registered Republican, former Trump supporter who's insane and very upset at Trump for one reason or the other because he's like Laura Loomer and he wanted the Laura Loomer, or or like for any number of different reasons. Okay. Former January 6er, that type of because Donald Trump said he lost and he saw the Nick Fuentes video and he got really mad. That would probably be the funniest outcome. Not saying that these are what happened. Okay. This is not even like speculation. I'm just memeing. Okay. Number two funniest situation would basically be like if it was a random Florida man who just had a gun on him and they just tried to shoot him immediately. And they were like, oops, never mind. He wasn't even like intending to the president or anything. He was just a gun guy. Okay. And then obviously you go past that point and it becomes like not funny, but actually scary in terms of societal consequence. If the guy's a Democrat, if the guy is if the guy's a Democrat, or if they're a Swiftie, that would be kind of funny as well, because like Swifties are so powerful, especially as like a voting block, and also in terms of like purchasing power, that they won't like, and many of them are white, so they won't get like the same level of scrutiny. But if it's like a, you know, Democrat or a leftist or something like that, or if it's a migrant, oh my Lord, or a trans person, you know, these are less likely outcomes, statistically speaking. Okay. And I do like that we have now become so genuinely unserious about this sort of, that like we are just like, we're doing crazy speculations for funsies at this point because of how normalized this is. Trump immediately tried to fundraise off of this. Like, even he's not taking it seriously, okay? Even he ain't taking it seriously, dog. Look at this. What about an apolitical Swiftie? I mean, I don't know. It is wild stuff, though. God damn, it's just crazy. Let's see what the Fox News is saying, though.
In situations like this, something that is, and this is a little bit of a leap, but something that's politically motivated. It's almost like terrorism, which is motivated by an ideal, right? An ideology. This is how the perpetrators talk to the world. And so very often, you know, it's been my experience, the terrorism suspects, that the problem is not getting them to talk. The problem is getting them to shut up and to keep them on topic, because, you know, they tend to ramble and they're all over the place. So we don't know, and there are no hard and fixed rules on this kind of thing. And it always depends on the person's, you know, personal demeanor and where they're coming from. But in a situation like this, if it is in fact politically motivated, yeah, I would go out on a limb a little bit and say there is a chance that he'll talk, and he very well may be proud of it if in fact he was motivated, and we don't know this.
You know what's really funny? What's really crazy about it is that like the last political seemingly wasn't politically motivated. Like, it was as close to like non-political as you can get as a registered Republican shooting at the former Republican president, like the last attempt. And it's kind of wild. Like, because usually it's like the one thing, because shootings happen all the time in the United States of America. And in many circumstances, it's a guy who's like, you know, insane. It's a guy who's usually insane, wants to make a name for himself, wants to die, all this stuff, right? The last political was the closest you can get to it being non-political, like while still being inherently political, because it was a political attempt at it, which is crazy. Think about it. I mean, I guess Ronald Reagan was similar too. God, history is out of options, dude. There is nothing new that ever happens. It's always the same. They just keep repeating it over and over again. I swear to God.
Earlier in the broadcast, you know, there was the one car which began to suggest maybe this was a targeted event. Well, then you have to say to yourself, how did he know? Has this person been surveilling that golf course on Sundays regularly? Has he been trailing Donald Trump as he can? Was that not picked up? You know, you have to start to ask some of these deeper questions, and I think that will go into the investigation. But one thing we should notice is that he's now been identified as, and what that means now is that the FBI has the case, because there is a direct statute on point that says that if you try to a president, you violate that statute, and that puts the FBI in the lead.
Oh, thank God.
And we do have a statement from the FBI's office, the National Press Operations Unit, saying...
I didn't realize there was a statute against, like, political... I didn't know it was illegal, Mr. Thank you, sir.
...an attempted of former President Trump.
Yeah, so that tracks. You know, once it's declared an attempt on a president or former president, the FBI has the ticket under that statute. That's well established. That's why even in Butler, the FBI is not investigating any of the failures that might have occurred with the Secret Service, which certainly looked to have broken down. That's not their job. They're investigating the attempted of Donald Trump. They don't even have the lead on the civilian that was, or the 2 civilians that were wounded. So these things are very proscribed. Right now, the Bureau has the ticket. And in a case like this, that's important and it's good because this person may not even be from the area. But something at this level, he may have traveled. And my understanding is, I can say, I believe he's a male. He usually is. And there's some social media out there that he's a male.
Whoa.
So, yeah, he may have traveled from outside the area, which means he would have done surveillance, et cetera. But then you're going to need the Bureau's reach to look back and reach into where he's from. And we don't know where he's from. Could be very far away.
Well, the FBI is reaching. They are investigating it. They're on top of it. Stand by for me.
There you have it, folks. Fox News has gone woke. Not all men, sweetie.
Hey, and as Othell just said, the FBI now saying this appears to be an attempt at President Trump. The second that this nation has gone through. Thankfully, we don't know if the got any off at the moment. We're waiting for a confirmation from the news conference that is about to begin at some point that you see on your screen right there, and whether or not that did happen. We do know that a Secret Service agent, we're told in advance.
YouTuber reviewed Cooks and Donna. It was pretty funny and shows how not serious people are taking all this. Yeah, I think that comes from just like how normalized it is in this country. It's just like so commonplace. The unique aspect of this is that it's happening to a person of note, like a person of notoriety in a position of power. What the
profile protectees, and we're able to, in this case, thankfully.
What the fuck's this journalist doing, bro? Random journalist showed up. He's going to be the one speaking.
Lucas, what do you got?
Well, Eric, as you just mentioned, the FBI has confirmed that it's now treating this as an attempted on former President Donald Trump. It's notable, Eric, that Trump's golf club, Trump International, is only 4.5 miles from Mar-a-Lago, where the former president resides. And if this was waiting for the president, and certainly the former president follows a certain pattern of life, everyone knows he likes to play golf. If this man was staking out the former president, he wouldn't have to go far, just 4.5 miles from Mar-a-Lago to Trump International to play golf. It is notable that it was the Secret Service that...
Dude, that's pretty funny. He's not going to be able to golf anymore. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like, all the trials and stuff, like, that sucks for him, right? But that's that you can make go away with money. And he's already farming his Sims to get as much money as possible to, like, you know, pay for the legal fees and whatnot. But this, like, if he cannot golf any longer because of the, like, the high profile nature of this attempted, that he might himself. Like, I feel like that's the one thing he enjoys, you know, in life. Like that's the one thing he does all the time. Prior to this incident, sources had privately expressed concerns about Trump's safety while he's golfing. His clubs are surveilled by the U.S. Secret Service and are not open to the public. However, areas around his course, including Trump International, and are visible from the outside. That's what I'm saying, dog. That's got to be the saddest thing for Trump.
On that weapon to be able to fire a round that could have effect. So it obviously is a very dangerous weapon. It's a high-powered weapon. Once we see the weapon to see whether or not this individual had a scope, we don't know anything about this person's background. Does he have military training? John mentioned he's in his late 50s.
Guys, let me tell you something, okay? Andrew Lloyd Webber Broadway musical reruns are not going to carry this man across the finish line. He has to golf. He likes his golf. He likes his musicals. He likes his Diet Coke. If they take one of those away from him, that's a lot of weight on the other two. And there's only so much Diet Coke you can drink throughout the day. All right? Yeah, imagine having to do Wii golf for the rest of your life.
A lot of reviews, commissions of inquiry to make sure that the Secret Service was doing precisely what they're supposed to be doing, protecting the former president of the United States while he's simply out on a Sunday afternoon playing golf. right there. So let's stand by for the Secret Service briefing that supposedly will begin momentarily. We're waiting for that. We'll, of course, have live coverage. Chief Ramsey, we'll get back to you. Thank you very, very much. I think we have Randy Kay on the phone for us. Oh, she's live for us right now. Randy, you're there outside Mar-a-Lago. Tell us what you're hearing and what you're seeing right now.
Actually, Wolf, we're right outside here at Trump International Golf Course, not too far from Mar-a-Lago. But I can tell you that the law enforcement presence is certainly real here. Just getting here was a challenge. Just speaking to that for a moment, I came from where I was about 25 minutes away, and it took me quite some time to get here, even just getting down Highway 95, which I know the Martin.
They said the shooter is a 60-year-old white man, chat. I mean, don't take a sigh of relief yet, but that kind of makes
cars, people on bicycles, pedestrians quickly put away into this other, put to the side. That was when the motorcade was just about to move. They were finally, had finally deemed it safe to move the former president from here at Trump International. So we did get some video of that, of the motorcade moving. But Wolf, this has been on lockdown. As you know, the golf course went into lockdown immediately when those were fired, those Secret Service firing at that individual who was later apprehended. But I can tell you that it's still very much an active scene here. There's, as you can see, more security outside Trump International Golf Course here. There's a gate to get into the golf course. Well,
you know what I mean?
But as you can imagine, a golf course on a Sunday, it could be busy. There's certainly a lot of ground to cover. And when you heard John Miller talking about Secret Service spotting that individual through the trees, or seeing the rifle at least pointing through the trees on that golf course, that is certainly incredible that they were able to do that when it's so difficult just to get inside Trump International. So once again, it does appear that the former president.
The liberal driller is back. True. But it wasn't a Prius. It wasn't a Toyota Prius. I looked at the car. I think it was like a SUV. Y'all remember the liberal driller, dude? Bop bop. John Kudzwanski. Bop bop. Don't you try to road rage on my Tallahassee road. Yeah, it should look like a Nissan Xterra. Yeah, it's a great Chapo bit. But yeah, this is a real story. John Kudzwanski, the legislative affairs director for the State Board of Administration, was in a shootout triggered by a road rage incident in North Tallahassee. The Leon County Sheriff's Office took one person into custody after the January 6th incident. However, that person has since been released and no charges were even filed. He bopped him and he got away with it because this Republican asshole was like ramming his car into this goddamn Toyota Prius. Dude pops out of the passenger side, takes out and just unloads. Okay, straight up drills the out of this dude. He's dead. Then we find out the Republican official had literally done this multiple times. So he got off on self-defense like the other guy. Going to Florida, that's wild. This is the most Nothing Burger Sunday news story in a long time, and it got so out of hand immediately because they were running the headline Trump ad again on the chyrons during all the NFL games. 2024 is so ass. Yeah, but you can still have fun with a story like this. You know what I mean? I think that's what makes it great.
The FBI taking the lead since this individual has been designated as a suspected. And so the FBI.
Nothing burger? What the? I mean, it literally is. Like, it is a nothing burger. Nothing happened. The Secret Service tried to shoot at the guy and missed. And then they arrested him. Also, it's a guy. It's a guy with a gun in Florida. Okay. So, yeah, dude didn't even get to fire his. What is this? It's not a nothing burger if Asmongold is farming it. Is Asmongold farming it? Is he even live today? He is live. He is farming it. Okay, well then it's a something burger. Okay.
You know, again, I'm just wondering how this changes this investigation. You've got the FBI involved,
That's
and
how
this
I
guy
figure out if a
is
story is
now,
important.
considered a potential.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of outstanding questions that are going to be asked first, and that is this individual acting alone, part of a larger group? Is there a greater threat to not only the former president or those associated with him, including his running mate, J.D. Vance, or to the greater public? And these fall under what are known as exemptions to Miranda. That is, you want the questions answered, and you don't care if they become admissible down the line in a court of law. You want to make sure that you're asking the right questions to identify the threat level that the former president continues to face. Is this a one-of-one incident, or is it a one of many for today? And that's what the FBI and Secret Service need to determine right away, regardless of where this goes in a court of law and charges against a suspect down the line. You want to make sure the public is safe and that the former president and his colleagues remain safe. As far as the investigation goes, this will be a whole of government approach when you're dealing with something like this. There will be no limit placed on the resources to get to the bottom of this. We know that we're facing challenges in the...
If he was GOP, he would have gone after Vance. No. Trump has a lot of parasocial stands. And parasocial stands, at least in my estimation, from my own personal experience, can sometimes become your most rabid haters, okay? That happens more frequently than you would think.
But Mirandizing him is what I understand you to say is not the most imperative point at that point. They want to get as much information from this guy as quickly as they need to get it. And so therefore, if this information is not admissible in court later, it doesn't matter. They need to know if this is a widespread threat or if the threat has been limited to a more narrow scope.
That's right. And that's a risk approach based on the law enforcement professionals that are going to be in the room with this individual, from the FBI to local law enforcement and the Secret Service. And there's two ways to accomplish that. Either you ask the questions that you want answered without providing Miranda, or you get the suspect the rights and agrees to talk with you. In that case, the latter, you keep all the information that the suspect gives you, and that becomes admissible in a court of law. If you take the former and you start asking me urgent questions that you need answered, and the suspect invokes Miranda, you still don't care in this type of situation. You want...
Bro, I'm telling you, the funniest is, like, obviously if he's a former Trump fan, like now a fallen soldier who's like upset with him for one reason or the other. But the second funniest is just like a Second Amendment auditor. If it's a Second Amendment auditor YouTuber, I'm going to nut, okay? Because it's Florida, man. I don't think you guys are getting it, okay? Like, yeah, high likelihood that it's like a political, attempted for sure. And there is no other place on the planet where you could put this counter forward. Like in Japan, when a situation like this occurs, like nobody goes, oh, I wonder if it's a Second Amendment auditor. You know what I mean? If this happened in Europe, no one would be like, oh, it could be a random guy with a... But Florida is the one place, America's the one place, especially in red states, where you literally could have this be a guy who's like, oh, I don't know, I didn't realize it was illegal. Or if he's a Second Amendment auditor, he'd actually be saying, actually, it's not illegal. Sir, you are violating my freedom of travel and my freedom to retain and bear arms under the U.S. Constitution. Am I being detained under Admiralty Maritime Court?
Obviously, Donald Trump himself is always at Mar-a-Lago. His senior staff and advisors have offices that are in West Palm Beach, but also at Mar-a-Lago as well. Not offices, but they are often meeting with the former president there. We know that over the last several weeks that their staff, particularly junior aides to former President Donald Trump, who are working 7 days a week. There are 50-some days left until the election, and it is a constant sprint for this campaign. So it's
how many grams of protein daily?
That there are people
220
inside
minimum.
of that office that is in downtown-ish West Palm Beach. So probably a roughly 12-minute drive from Mar-a-Lago, and that there are a number, as I said, a number of senior aides and advisors as well as junior staffers who have all moved down to the West Palm Beach area. And just a reminder that in the days after the attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, there was a memo sent out by campaign managers Susie Wiles and Chris LaCivita essentially telling staffers not to go into the office, not just in West Palm Beach, but around the country, just to keep them safe. There was a heightened amount of insecurity and anxiety among people who were close to former President Donald Trump. While they did not believe that any of these offices were intended targets, law enforcement did secure all of these offices around the country, particularly one outside of Washington, D.C. and in West Palm Beach, Florida, to make sure that those staffers were safe. They were told to work from home at that time. I will tell you that there's been a lot.
Sheriff said the guy was compliant, though. Funny as it would be, this won't be an auditor type. Yeah, If he's compliant, then he's probably not a Second Amendment auditor, because a Second Amendment auditor ain't being compliant when being arrested, okay? They probably would have domed him, though, honestly. That'd be the sickest Second Amendment audit, dude. That'd be the coolest Second Amendment audit. Because, like, technically, it's not illegal. It's one of those situations where it's like, yeah, you're just mad because you don't like the law.
Rules of the road, like we always talk about ahead of time. We are going to give you, when I say we have a representative from the FBI, from the Secret Service, from the State Attorney's Office. We are going to give you everything we have. Everything. All right? So when we get done, think about your questions, because we're not going to take a lot. And keep them to the information that you heard. Don't get into what ifs, and because of this, we're not going to go there. All right? So keep that in mind, and we'll be good. So here we go. All right, 1:30 this afternoon. Call came out expired. That was called in by the Secret Service. Because we're in constant contact with them all the time, we were notified of that, and we had units here that immediately sealed off the area. Fortunately, we were able to locate a witness that came to us and said, hey, I saw the guy running out of the bushes. He jumped into a black Nissan, and I took a picture of the vehicle and the tag, which was great. So we had that information. Our real-time center put it out to the license plate readers, and we were able to get a hit on that vehicle on I-95 as it was headed into Martin County. We got a hold of Martin County Sheriff's Office, alerted them, and they spotted the vehicle and pulled it over and detained the guy. After that, we took the victim, the witness that witnessed the incident, flew him up there, and he identified as the person that he saw running out of the bushes and jumped into the car. Now, in the bushes where this guy was is an AK-47 style rifle with a scope, 2 backpacks which were hung on the fence that had ceramic tile in them, and a GoPro, which he was going to take pictures of. So those are being processed right now. The Secret Service agent that was on the course did a fantastic job. What they do is they have an agent that jumps one hole ahead of time to where the president was at.
Why are you explaining how they do this?
Rifle barrel
They're literally helping the next shooter get better prepared, dog.
At which time the individual took off. So that's what we know about the investigation. We have somebody in custody right now. That is
it's like spiders. When you one, the rest of them get smarter.
But as we usually do, as soon as we decide that we're going to book him into the county jail and the charges that he's going to be booked into, we'll get those to you, and we'll get a picture of him, and we'll get you his background. So now I'm going to turn it over to the representative of the Secret Service.
The beauties of a state with sunshine laws. We will know what he looks like.
Good afternoon, everyone.
We will know his ass cheeks color. We'll know everything about him.
Partners, to include the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office and the Martin County Sheriff's Office, for their involvement today. Former President Donald Trump is safe and unharmed following a protective incident shortly before 2 p.m. on Sunday at Trump International Golf Club at West Palm Beach. The U.S. Secret Service personnel opened fire on a located near the property line, and this matter is under investigation. I'll turn it over to my partners over at the FBI.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeffrey Veltri. I'm the special agent in charge of the FBI's Miami field office. The FBI has assumed the role as the lead federal law enforcement agency in the investigation of the incident that occurred.
Why did he have ceramic tiles?
International Golf Course here in West Palm Beach, Florida. We've deployed a number of resources, including the investigative teams, crisis response team members, bomb technicians, and evidence response team members as well.
Like, was it?
What we need right now is for the public to avoid the
I
golf
thought those
course.
weren't ceramic tiles.
We will continue to support this investigation with the full resources of the FBI.
There's no question. When we hear GoPro, that indicates that someone wanted to not only the former president, but do it so that all could see. But again, it's very early. We do not have a description of the suspect, but certainly this is the kind of behavior we've seen before.
All right, Lucas, so disturbing. Thankfully,
this shit never fucking
a tragedy
happens,
averted,
dude.
But
that's so annoying. This, like, I don't have any outages, and then I have outages when there's 40,000 people watching. Wow, very cool. I literally went from 40K to 13K. Never do I ever have outages, except for when the president gets. This is 2 in a row, dude. 2 in a row. How is that possible? The only time I ever get outages is either Twitch me because they lower my bandwidth when the fucking president got last time, or Spectrum me and shuts off my internet. What the? How?
License plate on the vehicle. So that's what enabled the very quick response by law enforcement to identify him on 95 heading north, fleeing the area. And
Hezbollah has fiber. Hezbollah has fiber optic cables. Hezbollah has fiber optic cables. I'm talking 1 gig up, 1 gig down, and I can't get it in West Hollywood, Los Angeles, California. Use Spectrum. I hate this country.
So could it travel 500 yards accurately? Absolutely. The scope helps the shooter shoot accurately. It's going to take a little bit of training and practice to get somebody to deliver a round like that accurately at that distance, but certainly within the realm of possibility. We don't know if this individual had any law enforcement or military background, or if he's got any shooting or marksmanship in his background, but those are all things that the FBI will be looking into. Because we have a live shooter, unlike Butler, this is a case that's going to be, and an investigation that's going to be driving towards prosecuting this individual successfully and putting him in jail for a long time. So you can bet that we'll see search warrants executed later on this evening. We'll see a lot of FBI folks at his residence, maybe at his work. You'll see that vehicle impounded and searched, and they are going to be looking for all of the pieces of evidence that might indicate planning, motive, and whether or not any other individuals knew about what he was doing and may have helped him or helped him plan or anything like that.
In addition to the scope on that AK-47 rifle, which was intended, according to the FBI, of the former president, the fact that they found this GoPro equipment in one of the backpacks as well suggests to me, and I wonder, Andrew, if it suggests to you that this suspect had some political motive, wanted publicity, wanted to get a lot of exposure for what was going on.
It certainly indicates to me that he was looking for.
That's not an. Why are they saying that's an AK-47? I don't think that's an AK-47, dog.
And episodes of political. Sometimes it can be very hard to identify a specific political motive. For instance, case in point is the Butler shooter, who at this point we still have not unearthed a very clear.
What do you want?
I mean, clearly he was trying to Donald Trump, but a strong ideological reason for doing so, they haven't been able to identify that yet. So we'll see if we find that here. But no question, Wolf, you're absolutely right. The presence of the GoPro is an effort to preserve the images of this attack so that the shooter could use that for some purpose in the future, either to pump up his own image and glorification online, things of that nature. We know that mass shooters do that a lot. It's very important to them to communicate their success, their attack online. May have just been that, or it may have been some ideologically motivated, politically motivated act. Right now, it's super early in the investigation, but those are definitely the things we're going to be looking to hear from the FBI as they learn more.
And is the FBI, Andrew, and you're former deputy director of the FBI, is the FBI now in charge of this investigation, not the Secret Service, not the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office? It's the FBI which is in charge. Is that right?
They absolutely are, Wolf. As you know, under Presidential Directive 12333, the FBI has primary responsibility for investigating any acts of terrorism here in the United States. This would certainly be considered an act of terrorism, possibly domestic terrorism, although, again, we'll wait and see as we get more details about this shooter. But absolutely, the FBI would be the lead agency. Now, it doesn't mean they'll do it by themselves. They clearly will work very closely with the Secret Service and also with the Palm Beach County and Martin County Sheriff's offices. But you will see the Bureau kind of taking the lead role on the execution of search warrants, the collection of evidence, the preservation of evidence. And then I would expect pretty soon you're going to hear about Southern District of Florida prosecutors weighing in as to whether or not this person will also be charged at the federal level.
Yeah, I suspect that will happen. And we did hear Dave Ehrenberg, the Palm Beach County attorney, suggesting that there would be probably state charges, local charges, as well as eventually federal charges as well. I suspect that's what's going on right now. All right, Andrew McCabe, everyone else, stand by. Caitlin, we're getting a lot of information right now to digest, and I presumably believe in the next few minutes and hours we're going to get a whole lot more.
Yeah, Wolf, that was a remarkable update that we got from officials, and that detail that a Secret Service agent who was advancing Donald Trump.
Yes, chatter. 23K. Damn, your stream got cumstered. Yes. When I do a hard F and my stream cuts out, Twitch has no method of preserving the viewer count and causing people to stay on. Okay. When it hard Fs, when the stream ends and it restarts, it auto clocks out every single person. Okay. That's precisely what happened. We went from 40,000 to 7,000 active viewers. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. There's just not anything we can do. Streaming to a cloud wouldn't even change the reality because my internet hard cut. It doesn't.
Is now saying appears to be an attempted second. JD Vance says, quote, "I'm glad President Trump is safe. I spoke to him before the news was public, and he was amazingly in good spirits. Still much we don't know, but I'll be hugging my kids extra tight tonight and saying a prayer of gratitude." We'll continue with our live coverage of this, as the FBI puts it, an apparent attempted second attempt of Donald Trump. We're learning more from our.
I just want to know what the background is of the shooter, bro. Come on.
A Secret Service advance team agent sees that potentially saved the life of a former president of the United States. Why did it get that far? Why did it get to that point? Why wasn't there more? Let's bring in former Secret Service Supervisory Special Agent Keith Wojcik. Keith, we have to laud and have tremendous gratitude to the professionalism of that Secret Service agent who's part of the advance team. They go a couple of holes ahead of the president to scope out the area. Can you imagine that you stop of a former president by seeing a muzzle poking through a fence? There has to be more than this done. Why wasn't there more protection? We heard the sheriff say he's not the sitting president. Isn't it time to provide him similar protection as the sitting president of the United States?
Thank you very much for the question. It's a great question. Thank you very much for having me on. That's my question too, right? What went on? But I have to say, well, I've done a lot of protection in my time, and doing it with President Obama and former presidents on the counter assault team. We were actually at the golf course golfing a lot and understanding what we're looking at, the circumstances around it, always having to keep your heads on a swivel, understanding your surroundings. Looking at that photo, I am truly shocked and so appreciative of the agent that spotted that rifle, because if you look at it, it is very difficult. There's leaves, there's a fence, there's shrubs, there's all kinds of different things. The fact that they spotted that and then acted without hesitation, to me, is amazing. And so, like you said, though, but why does it have to get to there? And that's a question I think that they have to answer. Ron Rowe, being the U.S. director, U.S. Secret Service director now, is going to have to answer that, like what happened and why. And I'm sure he will. There may be more circumstances we're unaware of. But the fact that they did spot that in a very, very difficult surroundings, we go through training. What they use me as with the counter assault team went through trainings like this on a daily routine. But have it in real life, not be panicked and make an engagement like that is amazing. So I don't know what the answer is to that, but I think we're going to find out here for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if he was the sitting president, that street would have been closed. If he was the sitting president, they would have had covers in areas. Like, what type of precaution did you take when former President Obama was on the golf course?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's the same level of precaution,
same security
dumbass.
levels were enacted.
At a certain point, you just can't golf. Like, you're the president.
Especially with a golf course, it's a moving perimeter, just like a motorcade. You can only control what you control within your environment. And I don't know the mapping. I'm not sure of the street that they went on. But are there different surveillance units? Of course there are. But you're talking a large area. Should this have happened 63 days after a prior attempt? Absolutely not, right? I think there is something that needs to be looked at. Okay, where was the gap again? And I hate to even say that again. But I believe the Secret Service will investigate this. And as prior guests had said, address it and probably close down the streets now. But again, how are you able to close down the streets? How much is that impeding other things? Because you have to think of other things too, right? Routing traffic, infrastructure. There's more than just, unfortunately, there's more than.
That's from Piers Morgan. I don't know how valid this is, but he does kind of look like a libtard a little bit from the vibes alone. But it's Piers Morgan, so who knows?
Now, thankfully, a witness saw took a photograph of the car, the vehicle, the black Nissan SUV, and the license plate, so they're able to pull him over and get him. What does it tell you when he is able to secrete himself inside bushes, hang those knapsacks on a fence, and have a GoPro, which you potentially could put on social media to record what he perhaps allegedly thought was the of a former president.
I'll tell you, first of all, you said the best thing ever. Head golfing at Andrews, it was always a great thing. Not that security lacks, but you also have the U.S. military there, which made things a lot less stress-free. But there was still stress. Transferring that to an open golf course, a public-private, in an open area under a military establishment is difficult, right? What I'd like to see come out of this is what's on that GoPro. Because I believe what you had said earlier is right, that social media may be a play in this. It may be very big. Are they going to display it? How was this terrorist related? Was this just a sole incident? This is
chat. He's a white dude. Of course he's trans. Like immediately. If it's a white man, just like every other white man that has done a shooting every single day for like the last 10 years, they will immediately say, "Oh, it's a white man, so it's got to be a trans person." Okay? If it's a cishet white man, they hit the trans line every time. It don't matter. It don't matter. Immediately, they're like, "Oh, that's a trans woman, actually." Okay? That's just literally the only method they have at this point. Okay? And it's not, like, it doesn't matter. It's not correct, but they just say it anyway, and that's probably what will happen now.
I'm not of the no of the sweep itself when it comes to they've changed their policies. But I'll tell you, they do sweeps. They do understand the circumstances. Now, again, 63 days apart, this needs to be acted. This needs to be quickly. This needs to be identified quickly, adapted quickly, and mitigated quickly to make sure that this does not happen again. We all know that.
Yeah,
so we need to address that.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Here's the Palm Beach sheriff a few moments ago at the news conference. Let's listen.
The golf course is surrounded by shrubbery, so when somebody gets into the shrubbery, they're pretty much out of sight. All right? And at this level that he is at right now, he's not the sitting president. If he was, we would have had this entire golf course around it. But because he's not, the security is limited to the areas that the Secret Service deems possible. So I would imagine that the next time he comes to the golf course, there'll probably be a little bit more people around the perimeter.
What strikes me about that comment is he's not the sitting president, and he's not. Former presidents do not receive, of course, the same level of security as sitting presidents do. But I'm going to end with the way I began this interview. Don't you think it's time that he get near the level, perhaps, of a sitting president? It does take more resources.
No, too many drain on our resources. No, they should not do that.
With local law enforcement.
No.
But at least close the streets, for God's sake.
No, I don't think so.
You can hide in some bushes, and by the stroke and luck of God, a Secret Service agent saw a muzzle in bushes and was able to prevent a tragedy.
Yeah, you're right. And it may have been an act of God, like you said. And like I said, the accolades to the Secret Service agent, which I'm assuming probably a counter-assault team guy up the head at the time, was trained very well to do that. But I think you're right. I think that they need to do an assessment of all, current or incumbent presidents, nominees.
How will you pay for it? How will you pay for it? How will you pay for it? We have to shut down the entire country every time Trump wants to golf? Suck my... Nah. Tell him to stay at home, bro. Stay at home. Stay at home, big dog. Can't do it. Plus, I don't think he'll want to do it anyway. Like, actually, he won't even want to do it, in my opinion. Because, like, he's got to be a little scared.
Addressing, what went wrong and how do we address it in the future?
We will hear a lot more about this. Keith Hozak, a former supervisory agent with the U.S. Secret Service. Keith, thank you, and thank you for your service to our nation, protecting.
Thank you. You have a wonderful day.
The people we elect. Ollie?
Now time to bring in former FBI investigator.
Bro, I wholeheartedly disagree with you. It's the president. No, it's not. It's the former president, not the current president. Stay at home. If you can win, that's a little different. Okay? There's already there's a finite amount of resources. I'm sorry. I'm a small government conservative. Okay? I'm a small government conservative. I believe in fiscal responsibility. I'm a budget hawk. Okay? I'm a budget hawk. I believe in fiscal responsibility. I'm a small government conservative. And as a small government conservative, I believe it costs far too much for Donald Trump to be golfing. Okay? Wouldn't you want those standards for Kamala? No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. No, I would not. Kamala Harris is not the president. She's the vice president. She already has a higher level of protection than Donald Trump because she's the vice president. Guess what? You got to win. If you want that protection, you got to win. Sorry. If you want that level of protection, you got to win. You can't lose and then demand the same level of protection. You can't do that. Why should the American taxpayer and also random Tom, Dicks, and Harrys that want to go home to their wives have to sit around and not be able to go home to their wives because Donald Trump wanted to golf that day? Get the out of here. Suck my... No, I'm not memeing. I am a small government conservative. Okay, you just have never seen a real goddamn patriot before. Hasan, you've turned into such a biased whiner. Wait, what? I don't think I'm the one who's whining here, nor the one who's biased. I already told you, I don't give a shit about Kamala Harris's needs in terms of security either, but I don't have to because she's the vice president, so she does have a higher level of security than a person running for president. Sorry, I'm not biased, he says, Law. Well, first of all, I am so biased, but I'm willing to bet you have no idea what my biases are because you probably think I love Kamala Harris or something because you're a goddamn idiot. And you are entirely too focused on black and white thinking when it comes to American politics. Okay, what are we doing? We got to give everybody a Secret Service detail? Yeah, when he wins, he'll get it. Okay, he already has the Secret Service detail as a former president. It's a higher level of Secret Service detail than anyone that's currently running for president would ever get just for running for president. So he already has that. Former presidents have lifetime Secret Service for themselves and also their family members. That's enough as it is. Losers don't get extra security.
Tsarnaev, they invoked essentially what was a public safety exception. If this individual that they have now, the suspect in custody, is that something that could be going on? We don't know if this was a lone actor or not yet. We have a little information about this person.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, in cases where there may be an immediate threat to the public or other individuals, is that, that exception can be made, and they, as they would, for instance, in a terrorist incident, to see whether or not there are other compatriots out there, whether there's other plans, and be able to kind of thwart those plans and make sure that other people are safe. So it's very possible that they may decide to take that approach on it. I think, this whole issue of kind of digital footprint, we need to also kind of look and say, my view when I'm hearing this,
I think the funniest problem here is that, because of the likelihood of repeat customers, because of the way that, these sorts of attacks work, Trump is looking real school-like right now, if you know what I'm saying. That is unironically the funniest outcome of all of this is that, people who want to, make a name for themselves are probably going to try and do this again now, which is, you're saying, bruh, Lamau, but, this is the only way to bring about, control, I think. I think they literally now are probably going to try and do this over and over again. They're most likely going to get in the attempts, but because it's becoming an actual problem, a problem that if you're an average American, if you go to public school, you have to deal with that fear on a daily basis. Presidents don't, okay? You have to deal with that on a daily basis. Presidents don't have to deal with that on a daily basis, but the moment that they just have to deal with that on a daily basis, all of a sudden, the moment that they look like a school, a soft target that people that want to make a name for themselves can just attack, you'll get some control real quick, dog. I'm telling you. That's what's crazy about it. That's what's crazy about it is that whenever they say there's no place in our politics, it's our entire politics is number one. Number two, this is happening on a rapid clip on a daily basis to Americans all the time. Okay. Literally all the time. There's mass shootings happening daily. There's school shootings happening weekly. What do you mean? This is not, there's no place for America. It's no, this is all we know. We're like feral animals, dude. What you mean to say is it shouldn't be happening to us, people in positions of power. That's it. That's it. That's what they mean. When they say oh, there's no place for this here, they mean there's no place for that for us. The failing New York Times is a true threat to democracy. I mean, he's right. He ain't wrong about that.
Directions in this vehicle containment technique where they've blocked him in on 3 sides, so he can be nothing but calm. And he was compliant with the commands they gave him, and then he was taken into custody. So a lot went right today, and a lot came together.
Well, and Andrew McCabe, when you look at this, and Wolf, I was just thinking about this, when you look at what we're hearing from officials, and you see those 2 pictures there of the backpacks that were left at the scene that they found inside these bushes, on the right side of your screen on the left, that's a GoPro camera, officials said, that was mounted on the fence, and then 2 bags as well. Andrew McCabe, when you're an investigator and you're looking into that, I mean, it clearly speaks to some kind of of what they're looking into when they're talking to this suspect who was in the.
Dude, I'm telling you, YouTuber is so funny. This being potentially a YouTuber makes this peak.
that is done because this person, whoever he is, he clearly had the capacity to engage in that sort of structured and organized thought, which is a big piece of this, because that will undermine, and that can undermine a lot of different defenses at trial. So you have someone who had the wherewithal, the financial
Oh my
ability.
God. Oh my God. Someone in the chat says something brilliant and really funny. Do you think these are time travelers that are trying to stop him from becoming president? I do now. I didn't before. I do now. Oh my God.
Bullet. So this is someone who went through a lot of effort to really plan this out. I think we also have to remember that they somehow knew where to go. They had some indication maybe that Trump was playing golf on this day. We don't know that for a fact yet, but that's something that investigators are going to be looking for. Obviously picked this location as one of tactical advantage, likely because of the cover provided by the foliage and the bushes that he was hiding himself with. Probably had some advanced knowledge of how the golf course is laid out and where the former president would be proceeding from one hole to another. So this is all a very high degree of planning, which is great evidence for the prosecution. And finally, just recovering these backpacks with the stuff in them and the vehicle that he was driving in when he was arrested. You have a gold mine of evidence here, forensic evidence that will tie, likely, this person they arrested to that backpack in that place with the weapon at the same time. So all those little pieces come together. They all seem to be likely lining up in a very damning way for this person. And that's what the investigators and the prosecutors will be looking at next.
And Andrew, a very quick question before we let you go. They said the suspect with his rifle, the AK-47 with a scope, was between 300 and 500 yards away from Trump. But then they said that is not a far distance, given the capability of this AK-47 with a scope. You agree with that that's not a far distance?
It's not a far distance. The rifle is definitely capable of it. The scope makes it easier to do. It's still going to require some degree of training and practice on the part of the shooter, but that's not hard to do in this country, right? A lot of people engage in that sort of stuff, shooting sports and things like that. So yeah, this is definitely a possible for a decently trained marksman. So, and it's also been done before. Let's not forget that in 2011, you had Oscar Ramiro Ortega Hernandez, who fired 7 at the White House from Constitution.
Dude, when are the conspiracies rolling in? That's what I want to know. Like, who's got the best Lebanon takes? You know what I mean? Who's got the best blue MAGA takes? I feel like they kind of went away with Joe Biden going away. But like, I want to hear him be like, this is fake. He staged it himself. He didn't get the, okay, here. Okay. Blue and on. Are you ready? I'm putting on my blue and on cap. Hold on. Let me put my blue and on cap. 1 second. Okay. I'm pulling on my blue and on cap. Okay. It's an AK-47 style rifle, which means they got it directly from Moscow. The shooter was never actually going to shoot Donald Trump. He didn't even get, as a matter of fact, Russian agent Vladimir Putin wanted to make Trump look good by surviving yet another attempt. We will not believe that. Okay? It's 5 o'clock in Moscow, sweetie. It's 5 o'clock in Moscow, sweetie. Vladimir Putin, Vladdy Poo, you will not be fooling this powerful man, this feminist man who cares about abortion rights. I will be voting for Kamala Harris and wearing my Hamilton merch as I go to the polls. Vladdy Poo. This is why you get rated so low on the factual information chart. If you think that is not Lebanon take, that's not a fire Lebanon take, I don't know what to tell you. That's facts. It's such a flaming hot Lebanon take that it hasn't even come out yet, okay? I just wrote it into existence. This liberal will be walk Tua to the polls. No, Hawk Tua is too like right-wing coded. Blue and on still going strong. Secret Service Special Agent in charge of Miami Field Office, Rafael Barrow, says it's not yet clear if suspect fired any. Nope, I'm sorry. I'm 100% certain no one at Trump today, and anyone who wants me to think otherwise will have to come with a lot of hard evidence. Wait, this is correct, though. She was right. Blue Anon was right. HOTTOGO. You can see me hard to go to the poll. Yeah. Yeah. Lib Anon, baby.
Still has not been able to come out with a motive in that case, and there's a possibility there may not be a motive in this case. There were some shootings, and this was not a shooting today, and the former president thankfully was not hurt, but there are cases where there are no motives. That may not be the situation here. It's just too early to tell, given the fact this is only 4 hours old. They're still talking to him, figuring things out, going through his social media, seeing if he had stuff written down. But the advantage that law enforcement has here that they did not have in the case in Pennsylvania.
Charlie Kirk is like, Charlie Kirk apparently found the guy's Twitter, but won't say it. Brother, you still left Wukong in the title? Diabolical. Bro, it's fun day still. I will still be playing Wukong later, okay? I will still be playing Wukong later, I promise. I'm a proud Swiftie, and I'm in my voting eras. Yes! Yes, sweetie! Yes, sweetie. He doesn't look like he's 58, and that's why I'm saying it's like libtard theory, okay? Because like a Republican who's 58 would look way worse. You know what I mean? He's too skinny to be a Republican. I'm gonna be honest with you. He could be a crank though. He could still be a crank. Oh my God. Okay, I got another one. Okay. What if he's a RFK Jr. supporter who's really mad? RFK Jr. supporter who's really mad that RFK actually said, yeah, ain't no Republicans got cum gutters, dude. What are we talking about? I mean, he's a RFK Jr. supporter who's really mad that RFK Jr. actually endorsed Donald Trump. Nah, Florida Republicans come in all different shapes and sizes. Bro, those are meth gutters. Come on. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't strike me as a tweaker. He just looks, I don't know why. I got lib vibes off of him. As soon as I saw the photo, I was like, he's got some libtard ass vibes, but we don't know.
Brings that to the forefront. As far as his vehicle, he was in a black SUV. What's not clear is perhaps was the SUV thought to be law enforcement. You know, law enforcement travels.
Okay. I got another one. I got another theory. I mean, I already gave this theory away, but I'm going to say it again. I'm going to repeat it for all the new people that are coming in just now. Laura Loomer's ex-boyfriend from Lovers to Enemies, okay? Real mad that Donald Trump is hitting that now. He's like, I can't. When I saw him on television say she's a fiery woman, I was reminded I was reminded of the love we once had. I had to take matters into my own goddamn hands. He also does have a Nissan. Nissan is kind of a lib car, you know? New Laura Loomer selfie. Stop. That's one sexy woman. Name dropped. Oh, get to working. Get to working, chatters. Shooter name dropped. He's kind of thinspo. That's crazy. He started dating her when he was in high school. Wait, what the? Is this actually his account? Holy. This guy is insane. What the? Nah, this is okay. This might be a federal agent, dog. I don't know. I don't want to show you. Okay, this is an insane. Oh my God, he was a shooter boy. She said, "Show me to me, Rachel, please." Bro, this guy. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. I'm looking at his right now, dude. His well, okay. First and foremost, we can rule out HasanAbi head because age demographic wise, you know, this is an old ass community nowadays, and that's always a fear that I have in my heart. But judging by his post, we know this could have me, as a matter of fact, instead of Trump, if push came to shove. I don't know what's going on with this guy, but he really loves. Dude, this looks like a federal account. That's all I'm gonna say. Dude, no one writes this much about No one writes this much about Ukraine. He only posts if this is the actual account and it's not like a last second switch up. He's gaining followers by the second no, I don't believe it. This is unsubstantiated. I'm not going to show any of this. Okay. But the name has been revealed. Suspect's name is Ryan Wesley Ruth. Okay. Is it anti-Israel NATO Andy? I don't know if he's anti-Israel, but he is a NATO Andy dog. Okay. I don't know if he's anti-Israel. I don't see that at all. But he loves, if this is his actual account, because like, here's what could have happened. Okay. Here's what could have happened. As soon as the name got leaked, somebody immediately went back on an account that has been around since January 2020 and changed the name to Ryan Ruth and changed the, like the photo or whatever. Right. But I'm not going to lie. The tweets are insane. Okay. The tweets are insane as the handle changed though. Wait, what do you mean? His handle changed? Immediately followed by M HUD. Easy way to check Wayback Machine. Oh, you're right. He wouldn't have changed the handle. There's a picture post from 2020. He likes Tulsi Gabbard. He has added Tulsi Gabbard. Okay. We need some help out here in Kawa. I think he might have been like a Hawaiian pro NATO Tulsi Gabbard fan. He loves NATO and loves Ukraine. Like this man has only posted about Ukraine. Like, is crazy. I think this dude lost his dang mind on the Ukraine. What the fuck is this number? He's got like a phone number on here. Joe Biden, you should visit the victims in the hospital, the Trump rally victims, and attend the funeral of the firemen that died. Trump certainly never would. Show the world what real leaders would do. And you said Biden was dumb for talking about NATO. Okay, guys, I have an apology. I have an apology to make. Okay? I'm sorry. There is a NATO voter. It's this guy. It turns out I was wrong when I said, who the is a NATO voter? It's this guy. Bro, he follows, who the follows Secretary of Defense Lloyd J. Austin III on Twitter. He follows Vivek Ramaswamy. He follows Radio Taiwan International. He follows a bunch of NAFO Andes. Oh my God. Oh my God. Live UA map, Euromaidan Press, Blue Sauron, provide coverage of the military side of the conflict. Bro got brainwashed by the feds. Dude, this is the most in this. Oh my God. I think this is like, we found it. We found the Blue Anon guy. I think he had some of the most unhinged takes about like getting Afghan fighters to go fight in Ukraine. Okay. He kept tweeting at Vivek and Nikki to not drop out. He follows Blinken. If this guy's real, his motive is that he believes Trump is anti-NATO and pro-Russia. Yeah. Bro, he was also like a Taiwan guy. He was so invested in the NATO. He was like, Bruno Mars Access, we're trying to serve the haiku stairs. Bruno help with the nanatorium, and we need his help now to save this World War II landmark for our kids. Aid in Ukraine at gmail.com. Keith Amamiya, we must remove Rick from office. I'm thinking we could get Kirk Caldwell to join. Hunter Biden's son, they cannot convict Hunter Biden as the question on the application with no time frame. User or addict in the last 10 minutes, decade life, when? So any pot user at any moment cannot buy. Oh my God, bro. This bro is like invested in the State Department. He is so insanely pro-American State Department that like that's the reason why when I saw this, I was like, is this a federal agent? Like, what the is going on? Who the Elon Musk, I would like to buy a rocket from you. I wish to load it with a warhead for Putin's Black Sea Mansion bunker to end him. Can you give me a price, please? It can be old and used as not returning. Okay, he's schizo. Okay. A couple things that I've seen here. Okay. First of all, okay. This man is schizophrenic. Okay. Because ain't nobody is putting their phone number. Ain't nobody's putting their phone number. Okay. Wow. The same speech a week is best. I want a serious State of the Union type speech every time. I do not want tribute. I want a heartfelt on students, Ukraine horrors, Taiwan, China, freedom, democracy. Oh my God. He is the guy. He's the pro-Palestinian, pro-Ukrainian guy who is just like locked in, dude. What did he say to Seth Rogen? You and James Franco must use your status to meet with Kim Jong-un and show him we are friends and we want the best for him and his people. Dennis Rodman did it. James Franco, we cannot let North Korea spiral towards war. As civilians, we should go there and make friends with Kim Jong-un and show him we are normal humans. Oh my God, this guy's amazing. This guy's amazing. He's both a NATO fan and also simultaneously like wants to open up the DPRK to the world. Wow. God, I love American politics. I love people that have just like these insane opinions, dude. How can all of these opinions be trapped in the same mind? How? How can these opinions all be in the same mind? Literally a HasanAbi head. You are insane if you think this is HasanAbi head. Ain't no HasanAbi head is being like Elon Musk, please give me a rocket so I can nuke Vladimir Putin. This is obviously a Russian psyop agent to make the pro-Ukraine NATO guy look insane. How could this be a Russian psyop? Like, I was thinking about that. For sure. Cause like he has posted the most insane, right? Look, France Elba, I wish someone in Haiti would reach out to me so I can supply thousands of NATO trained Afghan soldiers very cheaply. I can send 1,000 soldiers today to defend. There are 1,000 NATO trained Afghan soldiers that are begging to join your police force for very cheap wages, $200 US a month. There are 1,000 with passports ready to fly. RC Wu from the Institute for National Policy told me to work with you to defend Taiwan. I have thousands of Afghan soldiers. This is crazy. Tweets are being deleted. Oh, Elon is probably going after the account already. Oh my God. His last post was about the previous shooting copycat. Yeah, I saw that. If this is the Ryan Ruth in the news today, he seems like he's trying to arrange mercenaries for Ukraine. His posts are bizarre. I don't have LinkedIn. I can't go on his LinkedIn. If you want to scour his LinkedIn and it, then that's fine. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Oh, holy moly. This guy is insane, dude. Woo! This is the guy. I was wrong. This is the guy. This is the guy. If there are no more NATO voters, Ryan Wesley Ruth is dead or in jail for trying to be the president. He is the NATO voter. He is the AUKUS Andy. He is the AUKUS Andy. Real Donald Trump. While you were my choice in 2016, I and the world hoped that President Trump will be different and better than the candidate, but we all greatly were disappointed, and it seems you are getting worse and devolving. Are you R-worded? I will be glad when you are gone. Oh my God. Oh my God. Is he a Bernard brother? Man with barricades himself inside business in 2002. Ryan Ruth, 36, in 2002, was arrested without incident at United Roofing, Greensboro police said. Ruth was full. Wait, is this him? Ruth was charged with carrying a concealed weapon in possession of a weapon of mass destruction, referring to a fully automatic machine. I was not supporting Bernie, but now I am. As Sleepy Joe stands for nothing. No plans, no ideas, just as limp as Hillary. Bernie, give them hell. Fight to the death. No, the age checks out, dude. Age checks out. Ryan Ruth, 36 in 2002. Now he's like 50. What? Yeah, that's 58. Isn't that the same age? His picture, the picture says roofing in the back of the truck. He's a roofer. His FB is down, but it said he was from North Carolina originally. Okay, I don't want to toot my own horn. It took one photo and 3 seconds for me to say this guy's a libtard, okay? I'm just saying, I know my hogs, okay? I saw this, I was like, that's a libtard, bro. He's got libtard ass vibes. I've clocked it. I clocked it. No, ain't no Republican has that body fat percentage at the age of 58. Okay, I got the instincts. I do. Okay, holy moly. You know he's a libtard because he surrendered to the police? No, I mean, that's like, you could respect the police. Wait, what? He has a sock account on deck? No, someone could have changed the name on this. You're wrong. No, someone could have changed the, no. This is like, this could have been a name change. Don't know if this is like actually his sock account. But a guy that posts like that would probably have a sock account because he's definitely insane. He invited Kim Jong-un to his house in Hawaii. Kim Jong-un, I would like to invite you to Hawaii for vacation. We would love to have you here and entertain you. With the current virus, it is vacant and private. It would be an honor to have you at our beaches. I am a leader here and can arrange the whole trip. Please come. At POTUS, your campaign should be called something like Kadaf. Keep America democratic and free. Trump's should be Massa. Make Americans slaves again. Master. Democracy is on the ballot and we cannot lose. We cannot afford to fail. The world is counting on us to show the way. Bro, he's so insane. Suspect in the Trump assassination was interviewed by Newsweek in Romania in 2022. According to the report, he helped recruit foreign fighters to volunteer for Ukraine.
Please tell me who you are and why are you here?
I'm 56 from the U.S., from North Carolina originally, so I live in Hawaii now, so flew all the way from Hawaii.
Wait, it actually is Defend Taiwan? Like, that's his actual sock account? He had a sock ready to go? I bet my ass he's a DDGer. I don't think... I think he's too old to be a Destiny fan. This is like a guy who used to be a HasanAbi head and then like lost his mind and thought I was like pro Russia. Yeah, tell Putin to attack, draw him in so we can flatten Moscow. Moscow must be burned to the ground. Evil must be eliminated totally forever. One thing that we do know is that he is completely insane. No, I know he went to Ukraine. He did. This guy did not watch you. No, I don't think so either. He was a Vivek head? Vivek Ramaswamy, you cannot quit. Why? You must stay on the ballot to end. You must fight. You must continue giving speeches and push all the way to the election day no matter. No, he's not a Vivek stan. You guys are he is hyper libbed up, dude. He is hyper libbed up. He's hyper libbed up. He 100% is like, he was saying that because he thought like he could eat away at like Trump's base of support or something. He's not mentally well. Oh, his website is down. He's not mentally well. You can see his business website. He just starts rambling. Yeah, I could tell he's not mentally well from the fact that he sent messages, or not messages. He tweeted at like Zelensky directly to be like, give me a call. Of course he's bananas, dude. What are you talking about? Brian Schatz, I need your help. I am flying to Ukraine on Sunday to fight, but it is obvious they need our Patriot missile defense systems. Certainly we have some of those here that we can loan to Ukraine, and I can learn as a civilian how to operate. Help me change this war. Okay, I was wrong when I said it's funny. It would be really funny if it was like a random tube guy who was just in the vicinity. Objectively, this is funnier. And this is such an insane person, like an insane person, both in like the way he's like obviously not mentally well, but insane in terms of like how invested he is in like NATO, defending Taiwan, defending Ukraine, that like I was wrong. This is objectively funnier than like another Trump. Well, I mean, technically he did vote for Trump in 2016, but another, former Trump supporter. I think he's genuinely just a single issue NATO voter, not even full lib, just NATO. Vivek is not pro NATO, was he? You must expand your message with hundreds of bullet points. I've heard TJ swivel twice. Join forces with Nikki Haley now as VP to make a winning team, please. Need two-parter to win this. How to fix Ukraine, China, North Korea, and Iran. Can you make friends? International Women's Day. We all need to join together to support Tulsi for president. Oh my God, he's a Tulsi crank. He's a Tulsi crank. No. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are wondering, like, remember when I told you that like the American median voter is oftentimes a person who has opinions that are inherently contradictory, and it's very difficult to comprehend exactly what their worldview is. This is a person that goes above and beyond liberalism. Like, I think he was very libbed up. He was a Trump. So as far as we understand, he was a Trump voter in 2016, probably because Donald Trump ran against Hillary Clinton as an anti-war candidate. Remember that. He ran as an anti-war candidate, as a peaceful dove. So this guy probably voted for him for that reason. Okay. Why are you so pro-Putin and isolationist? Are you saying it's insane to not be these things? you cannot look at a guy who is adding Zelensky and being like, give me a call. I have 1,000 Taliban or Afghanistan NATO fighters ready to go, and be like, that's a normal position to have. You, my friend, have to go get mentally checked by a doctor. If you look at a guy who was just recently apprehended by the FBI and you look at his background, okay? If you look at his background and you're like, well, he's saying a lot of things that I agree with, you probably immediately need to talk to a doctor, like immediately, okay? Do not wait. He was a fan of Tulsi, and then he was no longer a fan of Tulsi. Okay, so in 2020, he was a fan of Tulsi, and then he stopped being a fan of Tulsi because he's libbed up. He was a fan of Donald Trump, and then he became no longer a fan of Donald Trump. I think this guy is insanely libbed up, okay? I think that this guy is insanely libbed up and very, very unhealthily obsessed with NATO and like helping NATO, beefing up NATO. And he's the guy who is like mentally ill that literally just listens to whatever the news is telling them about, like the big bad, the big evil. And he just hyper focuses on that. It makes it his hyper fixation, and he loses his dang mind. Okay. And it's interesting because he dislikes Joe Biden, likes Bernie, likes Tulsi Gabbard, likes Taiwan and Ukraine, wants normalized relations with Iran and North Korea, wants to Putin directly. This guy's awesome. Yeah, he is like oddly very pro-Palestine. No, it makes sense. It makes sense. I'm telling you, it makes sense. Because like, what does television tell you? Television tells you this is objectively a good war. It's moral to continue prosecuting this war. It's moral to, like, television man can't tell you that like the death and destruction is like, even if the television man tells you death and destruction is like actually totally valid, he very clearly does have in his mind like an anti-war principle. And I think that a lot of anti-war liberals went nutty mode with Ukraine because it was one of the first times that America was on the right side of history. Even if their reasons for being on the right side of history were wrong, it was like, that is the reason why he became like insanely militant. Why was he pro North Korea then? He's not pro North Korea. I think he's just like, he's like an actual anti-war guy who is like also insane and thinks more war for Ukraine, but anti-war everywhere else. More war in Ukraine to defend Ukraine, which is an understandable position to have if you're like anti-war, but you're simultaneously looking at what's going on in Ukraine and you're like losing your mind over all these people dying for no reason. Why did he vote for Trump in 2016 and didn't get fooled by Russiagate? I think his perspective on Ukraine probably started after the invasion. I am beginning to think you are just crazy. Stop talking about everyone else and get to work. Nobody wants a bunch of... I think you're a Republican and a Trump nut at this point. That gray streak in your hair is so stupid. Grow up or go away. Ryan in Hawaii. Why do you keep saying he's pro-Palestine? He has mentioned... he's mentioned that he wants the thing to stop. That's the only thing that that's the only reason why I thought he's like kind of pro-Palestine. He's not like... He's obviously nowhere near as invested in Palestine as he is in like the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, surprisingly enough. He mentions once, that's it. Some reporters are quoting his tweets, websites, interviews as to such as hey, he's a partisan. As he voted in 2016 for Trump, it was heavily... No, he's super anti-Trump. I disagree. He's libbed up. He's being treated as a Bush Republican, never Trump Republican. Maybe they are libbed up now. Well, considering that the Democratic Party actively courts these voters, I would say that he is libbed up. Okay, from his site, Israel must be divided equally between the Jews and the Palestinians, as no one should steal another's land and democracy must be put in place and nurtured for long-term stability. No, I don't think he's pro-Israel, chat. I think he's like a two-stater. This is the State Department guy. Okay, -1 Kamala voter. Yeah, Trump stan. Probably because Donald Trump positioned himself as like anti-war and stuff, anti-establishment. He probably hated Hillary Clinton because Hillary Clinton was like an establishment warmonger. Okay. This is a guy who was like trying to build housing for homeless people. And doesn't this account kind of read like a Republican's caricature of a radical liberal? It does, which is why It does, which is why I think like this is the one guy. They found it. They found the one guy. Yeah, in 2020 he was pro Tulsi. He is the reason why I said like there's no way this man is a HasanAbi head is because he is vehemently anti-China. Like that is like if there were like, remember what I told you about the median voter? There's like 5 priorities that you have to assign in order of like hierarchy. His number one priority is Putin and free Ukraine through whatever means necessary. His number 2 priority is Donald Trump is an asshole and he sucks. And I would say number 3 is I mean, he's such a crank. It's awesome. Number 3 is no. NATO is like number 1. I already said it. Number 3 would probably be, what is this? Communist project in many small parts and hiring all local groups to control individual columns and small parts of the project as we go. Let's use this project to help our struggling workers in the economy. No, he's not a communist. You're so stupid. This is just like that Trump supporter girl that I was talking to that doesn't believe that like dinosaurs existed, but also is like pro Medicare for all. Okay. You will be led astray. You have to look at like what their top priorities are. Okay. He donated to Warren and Yang in 2020. And I think, no, Tulsi Gabbard as well. Like in terms of his like political opinions, not employed. Act blue, act blue, act blue. Kasich for America. John McCain. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. He is a never Trump Republican. Oh my God. Oh my God. He was a John Kasich head. What the? He was also a registered independent, I believe. His bio is literally about taking less and giving more back to America. He's not a communist. Oh, this is his website on his opinions. Oh my God. He ran for Honolulu mayor to save the Haiku Stairs. The USA is the world leader and we must behave as the world leader. We are obligated to foster human rights and democracy around the world. Okay, dude. Yo, this is the AUKUS voter. This is the AUKUS voter. I was so wrong. This is the NATO voter. Oh my God. We found him. We found him. We found the AUKUS voter. The Five Eyes voter. Oh, when Brandon kept saying, dude, when Brandon kept saying, why did NATO? He was literally activated like a Manchurian candidate. Okay.
Good morning. Most wonder what I'm doing in Ukraine. This is about a center to help people when they come from other countries around the world have a location, someone to talk to as a greeting committee to get them in the location that they need to be. So that's the whole focus of this project, is to help foreigners be as useful as possible. That's our mission and job here, to get everybody where they need to be to maximize their potential. Everyone here is self-funded, so everyone's out of money and struggling to buy fuel and get everything they need just to survive. So any support would be tremendously appreciated.
Yeah, I'm actually, for the record, yeah, this is what's funny. What's funny is that like someone just said that based on this guy's like political framework, donations and overall output, okay, he is the guy that is supposed to be on the CNN panel of undecided voters. Seems like the crank final boss. Yes. At Dave Matthews Band, we need an emotional tribute song for Ukraine as support stalls. I have lyrics and music to We Are One to rally global support. Please help me. I live near Jack Johnson and I'm sure he will help. Please. Adding Bruno Mars to make help. Yeah, Bruno Mars. I live in Hawaii and was in Ukraine for 8 months and I need help producing a tribute song for Ukraine. I have all lyrics and some music. Ukraine needs your support. This is literally, bro, this is kind of who Kamala was targeting to like vote for her. Dave Matthews, you have blood on your hands. He donated to Yang, Warren, Tulsi, Steyer, and Beto in 2020. I feel like you manifested this man by saying there are no people like this. Okay, sometimes I'm wrong, okay? Most times I'm right. I did not realize that there was a guy like this. Okay, I am going to now change my position from there is not a single voter like this to there actually is a single voter. His name is Ryan Ruth, and he tried to assassinate the former president. Okay? I'm going from there is not one guy like this to there is at least one guy like this. Okay? This is a man that I have manifested in my this is a man that I manifested in my feverish imagination, where I kept saying, there's no NATO AUKUS voter, you dumbasses. There is no NATO AUKUS voter that was like formerly a Tulsi Gabbard fan, and now he won't be able to vote. I would have helped him produce that song, though. I mean, he's not dead. Republicans are going to spin this so well against the Dems. Oh, yeah, for sure. I have been to Ukraine twice for 8 months total, and communist Russia and Putin must be eliminated and dissolved at all costs, including boots on the ground. Taiwan should already have countless U.S. bases and must be defended. And Chinese communism and Xi Jinping eliminated for slavery and the of youth to use daily to harvest organs is a gross human rights violation, as well as global viruses and combative behavior. Oh, he's like China did COVID. Oh my God. Bro saw Team America and thought, damn, Kim Jong-un must be so lonely. Yeah, did you see his tweet about how he hates Viktor Orban? Shut the up. Shut the up. He tweeted about Viktor Orban? No. Oh my God. He did not tweet about Viktor Orban. Oh my God. Did he tweet about Viktor Orban? I was moved by Lester Holt being emotionally shaken on last night's newscast. He is the first real human to show the gravity of this war, and he's the best man in the world in my book. I'll stand by his side with Lester to fight a war and have his back any day. I mean, he would be the guy who knows who Viktor Orban is. He was recruiting for Ukraine in a GM
I'm in the zoo with the lions and apes and bears. You probably won't make it.
Shut the up.
Good luck with the video, man.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Can I see your ID?
Yeah, that's for me.
No, thank you.
How much time do I have before 12 gets here? Okay.
You don't have an ID?
If I show you my ID, can I go back into class?
Oh, you said 442? I thought you said 842.
Hey, my name is not Marquez Brownlee no more. It's Draco Malfoy. I don't do paper. I only do airdrop.
Well, the Ukrainians have a right to fight back.
I don't do paper though.
I don't care if you do paper or not. I'm looking for revolutionaries. Whatever people want to take this whole system down.
Bro.
Revolutionaries against communism. Which he thinks is Russia is communist.
I'm a veteran. Like, do you need me?
What kind of veteran are you?
Bro, I served in Nuketown.
Well, I think it's better to serve and fight in the powers over the system.
Bro, give me a Glock and a Hellcat.
Take a look at this.
Bro, but I don't do paper though. I just told you that.
Come on, dude, then get away. We don't need people who aren't serious. If you're not serious,
I'm serious, but I don't do paper, bro.
How the did y'all find this, bro? How did you find out that he was in a Gideon video? Randomly. How is that even possible? How is that possible that this community has already figured out where this, like, Where's Waldo has appeared over time? That is crazy. His name was revealed approximately 15 minutes ago. What the is going on?
You're literally in the environment.
We're moving on. You go ahead, have your lunch.
No, bro, I'm going to class.
Go to
I'm a scholar.
Go to class.
Wow, this whole is Hogwarts.
This is craziness, okay? This is craziness. He voted for Trump in 2016. No, I know. We know already. We covered that already. You're late. Chat, you are late. We already investigated this dude's background. We know, so far, what we know is he voted for Trump in 2016. He hates Trump now, okay? He actually was kind of weirdly pro Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy. And originally I thought that he was actually pro Vivek Ramaswamy and Nikki Haley because, like, he wanted Trump to lose. But it turns out he actually was pro Vivek and Nikki Haley because, like, he was a McCain voter and a John Kasich supporter as well before shifting over to Trump. And I think he's appeared too much. This can't be a coincidence. He's a hired actor, clearly. He's been hired by Gideon Zelensky in Taiwan and now clearly Trump. What if we're all crazy and he's the sane one? Yeah. I already got clips of you saying he's pro-Palestine. It's a crazy world. I mean, it's true. He was. Right-wing spin machine has already... Man who tried to assassinate President Trump identified as Ryan Youth, an avid Biden-Harris supporter who called Donald Trump a threat to democracy. Fox News reporting that the man arrested with a GoPro, blah, blah, blah. I've been screen recording his social media. He's a Joe Biden and Kamala Harris supporter. Posted their claim that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. He also said he's been in Ukraine to fight in the war. He also posted, I have thousands of Afghan soldiers that wish to serve for the Haiti National Police at cheap wages. Why would you even bring that up? That has nothing to do. Oh, because she saw Haiti and was like, he's pro Haiti. Like, that's what it is, right? That's what I think that's what she's trying to say. What she should have been saying is he wanted to serve the 3-minute ad break at the top of the hour at the HasanAbi broadcast because I forgot to run it an hour ago. So I'm running it now in the middle of the hour. Here it is, chat. It is here. The top of the hour ad break is upon us. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $6 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. You can also send links if you are subscribed. So there is that too. Dude, forget the FBI. This dude was on everyone's radar. Yeah, this dude is like, this is a different, oh, that's a different Ryan who, the donations are not right. The FEC donations are a different guy. Is that what it is? Hashtag anywhere is extremely tragic. God, Twitter is so stupid. Like, I'm sorry, dude. If all the blue verified checkmark accounts are so stupid, it's like, this aged well. Like, come on, dude. There's so many funnier things you could say about this guy who obviously is like an insane person. Like, that's what you're hitting him with? This aged well. You suck. You're a loser. You have no interest in being funny or creative. Nah, FEC's right. It says location Kawa, Hawaii. Oh, okay. Breaking, the Facebook account of Ryan Wesley Ruth, who tried to assassinate Trump, has been blocked. I managed to take it before. He's anti-Israel. I'm unclear what part of Israel the Jews own based on this historic map. Judea, perhaps. It seems historically to be all Palestinian. This is him. This is actually him. Yeah. It's pronounced like your favorite weeb word for kawaii.